Welcome to the Dome. Saturday night football, Richmond versus the Adelaide Crows. As we bring you the opener tonight from the Tigers' rooms, it is a big night for the yellow and black. They have lost their last 3 in a row, and they haven't beaten Adelaide for 6 years. Robert Walls is the acid well and truly on Terry Wallace's men tonight.
Well, it certainly is, Quarters, and 6 years is a long time. And talking to a few of the Richmond folk, they reckon it's time that they squared the ledger there, or started to square the ledger. This is such an important game for the Tigers because they've lost their last 3, and as you know, this game, they're heading for a final 8 finish. If they were to drop this one, it's 4 in a row, and all of a sudden they start to lose a bit of the credibility that they've worked so hard to build up.
The big news is that Matthew Richardson is playing. So are the other 2 big fellas too, Noble and Stafford.
Yes, and I reckon that's really good. And just being in here in the rooms, you just realise how big they are. And in perfect conditions out there on Telstra Dome. So if the Richmond midfield can win some quality ball and get it to the big fellas, they'll take marks and they'll kick goals. So good to see the big boys in the team.
That's going to be the key, isn't it? Stopping the grunters in Adelaide like Prosciutto and Goodwin and Thompson.
Absolutely. Look, that is a real strength of the Adelaide team. It has been for a decade. You know, you go back to when they were winning premierships, they were always strong through the middle. They've got veterans in there, as you mentioned, Goodwin, Prosciutto, Edwards is good. Some of the younger players, Shirley, Riley, Skipworth, they're very, very talented. They're good at the clearances because Hudson in the ruck has been a dominant player this year.
Matthew Richardson addressing the troops there. They're all fired up. You miss all this, Robert?
You do miss it. It's good to come down and get a feel for it. It certainly gets you pumped up, you know, and I reckon for anyone who gets an opportunity to get into the rooms of an AFL club pre-game, don't miss it.
And we're very privileged to hear all the tactics for tonight's game, which we won't reveal, of course, but a big thank you to the Richmond Football Club. Not far away from speaking to their coach, Terry Wallace. But it's a crucial game for both clubs tonight as far as the context of the 8 is concerned.
Well, look, the Adelaide Crows, you've got to take your hat off to them. I think they've been terrific this year under Neil Craig. They've had a real go at it. They had a tough contest last week down there against Geelong at Skilled Stadium. I've got no doubt that Terry Wallace will be reminding his players that the Adelaide Crows have come off a really hard game that went right down to the wire, so that's why they've got to jump them early. The first quarter, all important.
Well, there go the Tigers out onto the ground. Rob, catch Terry Wallace.
Thanks, Quarters. Terry, thanks for joining us. Just terrific to be in here. Richo, the big news through the week, would he play, wouldn't he play? What percentage fitness is he at?
Oh, well, look, we're hoping he's right. I mean, we're giving him as much time off as what we possibly could. We didn't make the final decision till today. Once you're out there, you're 100%, Rob.
And the other big boys, Simmons in the team, Trent Noble, Stafford.
Yeah, look, they've all come up, but we lost Ray Hall, obviously, with injury. So, look, we had probably 4 guys who we had to wait until the last minute to be able to choose.
What about Andrew McLeod? Been playing so very well in defence for the Crows. How do you think he'll line up tonight?
Well, I think he'll probably pick up Andrew Cracker, but what they'll try to do is just get him high up the ground as much as what they possibly can, so you just don't know who he'll take.
With Nathan Brown out of the team, Richo under a cloud, are you committed to kicking the 16 goals a game that you spoke about pre-season, or are you looking to close the game up?
No, well, look, we had 30 shots for goal last week, so certainly that's still our aim and objective. And against this side, they've only had 10 goals a week kicked against them.
OK, Terry, thanks very much. All the best. And up to you, Tim.
Thanks, Rob. Well, we can smell the liniment from down there. And Stephen Silvani, you get a bit of a crazy look in the eye when you can smell liniment.
Well, I do. It's a great smell, Tim, but something you miss as an ex-player.
Well, it's great that Richo's playing, isn't it? Because Richmond desperately need a win tonight, coming off 3 straight defeats. Can they produce the structure up forward to worry Adelaide?
Well, I think they'll go tall, Tim. We see Stafford there, Simmons probably at centre-half forward, but Matthew Richardson at full forward. Expect Rutten to go to him. I think Cracker will probably be picked up by McLeod. As Terry Wallace said, I think Cracker will probably go to the last line, try and get McLeod out of the way and stop his drive off half-back.
So a lot of tools up there for Richmond, and a couple of men to throw at Adelaide's Hudson, who will do the lion's share of the ruck work, but the Crows have a very accomplished midfield.
Well, they do. They're big and strong, Tim, and we see Burton there. He generally drops off stoppages and helps their defence out. It's a big top job for Tyson Edwards tonight, on the course his ex-teammate Johnson.
Well, they supply a heap of ball for their front half, which doesn't contain great target forwards, but managed to kick enough goals most weeks, usually modest tallies, and to win enough matches to be in the top 4.
Well, they spread the workload up there. They haven't got a real powerful key forward, but with the likes of Henshaw, who comes into the team, gives them another avenue up forward, and I think Perry, who lines up on the bench tonight, he's a real competitor.
Yes, he's a card up their sleeve, so they do have 1 extra forward, and the Tigers have Mark Graham starting on the bench, who they can throw into their back half as well. So they're the lineups. Adelaide come here with a good record. They've beaten Richmond 3 times to nothing when they've met them at Telstra Dome or Colonial Stadium as it used to be. They're 2-1 here this season. The place seems to hold no fears for them.
Well, it doesn't. They've got a fantastic record. They've won their last 7 against Richmond, and they'd be going in this game with plenty of confidence. It's a big game for both teams, really. The Crows, of course, they need a win tonight. They've won 3 of their last 4. They're in good form. Of course, the Tigers are really struggling.
Quarters back down to you.
Thanks, Tim, and no doubt about it, AFL footballers are tough. Just have a look at this in the rooms. Yesterday, Matthew Richardson had his knee drained. Today, he's out for the Richmond Football Club, playing football. He is tough. It's going to be a cracking game tonight at Telstra Dome.
For one of these housemates, their once-in-a-lifetime Big Brother journey will end on Sunday.
It's time to go!
Rachel, Christy, Geneva. It's an all-girl cast up for eviction. You decide who will go. Join Gretel for an explosive live eviction show from 7 o'clock Sunday.
Then, from 7 o'clock Monday, Big Brother's live nomination show is getting up close and personal.
Sooky and moody, self-righteous and arrogant.
Big Brother, from 7 o'clock Sunday and Monday on 10.
Don't wait, jump now. There are always great deals at Toyota. Get a Hilux Workmate cab chassis or 4x2 V6 single cab chassis with free tray and free air, a saving of over $3,600.
For your winter project, Bunnings Warehouse has everything you need. 320-gram liquid nails, $3.96. Storage box, $29. Dwarf Sacred Bamboo Starters, $2.50.
Bunnings Warehouse!
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Want more action?
What am I?
Need more atmosphere? Then get the widescreen experience on 10 with the latest state-of-the-art digital home theatre systems from Harvey Norman. You'll be surrounded with the ultimate range of flat-panel plasma TVs, along with Sony's theatre-in-a-box home entertainment systems. Bring the stadium to your home with front row seats to the game with this incredible widescreen experience. So get off the bench and grab a match-winning deal from Harvey Norman today.
The 2005 Toyota AFL Premiership season, proudly brought to you by our broadcast partners. Toyota. Footy, oh what a feeling. Bundaberg Rum, we live for the footy. Motorola. And Bunnings Warehouse, where lowest prices are just the beginning.
Welcome back to the Telstra Dome for 4th versus 5th. The Tigers against the Crows, and there's Nathan Brown in the coach's box. Not the type of view he would like to have, but the best view he's going to have at the moment. The captains are in the centre for the toss of the coin, and it goes Richmond's way. They're in the centre where the new turf was laid during the week after Terry Wallace complained the surface wasn't up to scratch. Both his ruckmen pulled up sore after last week's game. They are playing tonight, and that surface, the umpires are pretty happy with it, so hopefully the players will be happy with it tonight. Not a good sign for Matthew Richardson already. He was in doubt all week. He has been named in the team, but in that warm-up, already grabbing at his leg, having to see the physio and getting it rubbed. So not a great sign for him already.
Thanks, Christy. Huge game. The winner will be ensconced in 4th spot and a split round to enjoy or a week's rest. The loser, particularly if it's Richmond, will slip to as low as 8th with Port Adelaide breathing down their neck. The game is underway. Hudson against Noble, and it's Thompson taking it away for the Crows, and Henschel, an inclusion in this week's team, hauling down a beauty at the 50. So the Crows will have the first crack at it.
And it gives him a lot of confidence, Tim, if he's able to put it through coming into this Adelaide team. And you can see the spoil there by Andy Callaway, just not good enough to get a fist on it. Quick, direct centre clearance. That's what forwards like.
Long run up, he's not far forward of the big centre circle as he sets himself up. And this would be a flyer for Adelaide if he could nail it. He'll kick it from just a tick outside 50. Kellaway's opponent on the mark. Trent Henschel sets it in flight. Did it? Yes, it did. Great start to Adelaide.
Well, certainly start. The Crows got it out of the middle. One kick, quickly inside their forward 50. It's what they do very well. They do use their hands down back, but once they get over that centre square line, it's basically long into their forwards. And they've got the forwards in Henshaw, of course, coming into this side.
Well, what a way to come back into the team. Tremendous mark and a very good kick. It is cracker on McLeod's side.
Well, yes, I thought that would have happened.
And a free kick after the goal was scored. A Richmond player was bowled over, and therefore a free in the middle to Trent Noble.
And he puts it inside 50 for the Tigers, but it's all Adelaide in the air, and the mark, the safe mark, is taken by Bassett, who plays on straight away to McLeod. Over to Thompson. To half forward, Noble's getting back, and that's a free kick.
Steve, you thought that McLeod would play on Cracker. I don't think anybody's too surprised by that. I reckon Cracker would be in a little bit of awe about playing on a star like McLeod.
No doubt. He's got to pay him respect on the way out, Rob. He knows he's going to run hard off the half-back line.
Bowden now for Richmond. Scrubber for Simmons. Well wrapped up by Bock. Good strong tackle. Cracker. Bowden again. Blazers this time. Stafford is at the bottom of it. Didn't get a hand onto the footy. Adelaide cover it well. Bassett though besieged. Ball up. Great Chamberlain, the umpire officiating with Scott Jeffrey and Martin Ellis.
And this is what the taller guys need to do for Richmond up forward. They are talls, but they also got to work to keep the ball inside their forward 50.
Over the top went Hudson. Tapped it straight to Tuck, who has a ping at the goals. Hold! Hold! There's a free kick against Matthew Richardson for a hold.
Well, that won't do his demeanour any good, Quarters. And it's just bad luck for the Tigers. You can see Richo did get the hold on.
Does that sort of thing unsettle him, cause him to drop his head size?
Well, errors early do concern him.
Ruttner's kick is ordinary. It was touched off the boot.
Just getting back to that, Tim. But as a forward, it's always nice to get early touches.
And there's, well done, Matthew Richardson just touched off the boot. So we have a bounce, 50 out from the Tigers' goal. Big leap by Noble. Taken by Rashuto over to Burton. Kicks a high ball to the wing. McGregor in front. Fisted away there by Morrison. And have a throw in.
And the two captains playing on each other, and of course Kane Johnson, dual premiership player for the Adelaide Crows back in the 90s. So there's two mates, now captains of their clubs, pitted against each other in the midfield.
Hudson and Noble. And they'll do it again. Hudson coming to Adelaide from Werribee. Noble coming to Richmond from St Kilda. Contact between Chaffey and Goodwin. Goodwin finished up on the seat of his pants. Umpire not bothered by it. So another ball up. So Adelaide with the only score. Henschel mark and goal. Umpire Chamberlain clears the path.
And we just see there, Nathan Bassett is the free man down in their back half of the Crows. Something the Crows do very, very well. One of the reasons why they had the least amount of points scored against them.
Typical stuff from Rashuto to Hart. Big ones flying hard. McGregor, Henschel again. Edwards, Rashuto, back to Edwards. The veterans combining. Now the Birdman from a long way. Gasper under it. Well done, Welsh, to hold it in.
Good defensive spoil by the full forward, Scotty Welsh. It was Gasper with the sit underneath the ball. And Sos, you're right, both teams are playing an extra man in defence. And I think Terry Wallace will be more than happy with that arrangement.
Deep into the Crows' attacking territory. They've got the first. Waiting at the back of the pack is Graham, and it falls into his arms. To the wing. Crows have the extra man, and now Goodwin receives. Building again to the Crows as Matner bangs it along to the tip of the goal square. Graham gets back and concedes the behind.
And that man there, Mark Graham, is the extra man in defence that the Tigers have got. They started him on the interchange bench. Within 60 seconds he was on the ground. And, of course, a veteran defender playing most of his career with the Hawks, so he will relish the opportunity to be extra man in defence.
So Chris Newman to bring it back. Crows have done the only scoring so far. The zone's good, but he finds Gasper wide. It was a good kick. And almost to the boundary line. Bowden now's found some space and can play on from there. Resisted the temptation to go long, but made a mess of it. Hudson backwards to Bassett. Takes it wide. And Henschel has made a very lively start. Covers a lot of ground to mark this just forward of the wing.
Trent Henschel, an unlucky man who has a birthday on Christmas Day. Always unfortunate, that. As McLeod chips it out wide to Hart. He's got plenty of room to move. Runs to 55. McGregor, is that a mark? It is. Got first hands onto it, and then it started over a couple of players' heads. He had another grab at it, and the umpire has awarded the mark.
Yeah, terrific mark by McGregor. But the player that actually set that up, Rob, was McLeod. He was left free. The one player you don't want to be standing by himself is Andrew McLeod.
Yeah, and when McLeod got it, Steve, you're exactly right. He got it across to Ben Hart. So the two defenders playing on the last line of defence chanced their eye, ran to the midfield, and they switched at the Crows from one wing to the opposite wing to set up this forward thrust.
7 goals, 3 for set shots this year from McGregor, and they can make it 8 goals, 3. It's right through the middle.
Cheers, mate. Jeez, I wouldn't camp there if I were you.
There's drop bears.
Drop bear?
They're like a bigger, meaner sort of koala bear.
Then they drop from the tree.
Yeah.
And then grab your head by the head.
Yeah.
Classic.
Early worries for Terry Wallace on this big night for Richmond. Coming off 3 consecutive defeats. And Adelaide have jumped them. A couple of good big marks. Henschel and McGregor have the Crows purring.
Knock it out! Knock it out!
On the fresh new turf, no takeaway.
Dropping the ball, you got to knock it out!
There will be now. It's a free kick Richmond's way. Last man down was Shirley. Coghlan whips it away to Hyde, playing without the helmet. Simmons, good grab for the Tigers. So 3 big marks at either end of the ground. And now a golden opportunity for Richmond.
That'll be the plan of the Tigers all night, to have a couple of big fellas down there in the goal square, be it Richo and Simmons or Richo and Stafford, and with Cracker and Pettifer and Delidio getting underneath them. It's good old-fashioned footy. You can see Cracker positioning himself to get under that spill. But Simmons, good strong mark.
6-10 from set shots for the year. He's a bit wobbly, but he nails that. The Tigers have their first.
Free, yes me. I am a super fast iPrimus broadband modem, and right now I am free with any iPrimus broadband plan. iPrimus broadband plans start from as little as $19.95 per month. Plus right now, I am yours, free, on any iPrimus broadband plan. Call now, because after June 30th you can't have me free. Look at me and say you don't want me. You can't. I'm free.
This is an interesting matchup, this one. Mark Chappie, #1 tagger, #1 run-with player in the Richmond team, playing on Goodwin. And Goodwin, the in-form midfielder for the Crows.
Here's Hyde again. Almost threw it out. Intercepted by Goodwin. Great strength. Got it to Edwards. Back into the middle to Hudson. Can't pick it up. Burton does. Breaks the tackle. Now bang it long. It's a wobbly old helicopter into the forward pocket. Bad bounce for Noble. Biggins is there. No free kick. Tigers out of jail. This is Johnson. Goes straight down the middle. It's a good kick too. Richardson, got spoiled by a teammate. No talking there. And subsequently the Crows get the ball back. McLeod to Rashuto in the middle. His kick isn't the target of Biggins. It's desperate stuff at the moment. Kellaway at the bottom of the pack. He'll have a bounce. And Matthew Richardson had a run at the ball. That got scored by a teammate. Was that a free kick? No, said the umpire. Here's Richo.
Well, let's have a look at this. Well, they were both contesting the ball. Coghlan going back, courageous.
Too courageous for his own, and his team's good in a sense. Play on the call here, Johnson, the former Crow, now wearing the number 17 for Richmond as the skipper.
And Jim, just getting back to that incident with Coghlan and Richardson, it's not a bad sign. Their eyes are for the ball, and they really just needed to get up and just support each other.
Adelaide with a very good record against Richmond. Tigers' last win back in 1999. Bigland's well tackled. Gee, how did he get rid of that legally? Must have just fallen onto his boot. Tiger fans not happy about it.
We didn't have prior opportunity.
We just have a look at the size of some of these Adelaide Crow players. There's Tyson Edwards, one of the smaller fellas, but gee, is he strong? Simon Goodwin, Rashudo, McLeod, Skipworth, they are strong-bodied players.
Rashudo now off the instep, falling short for the veteran former Hawk in Graham.
And there's that spare man in defence, Tim, coming into play.
Bowden sweeping it away and now getting it back, and the Tigers get themselves into bother. They've got 2 on 1 and should still make the takeaway. And Johnson mops it up for his team and delivers well to Gasper.
Really lucky to get away with that, Bowden. He almost threw that ball out in front of him.
Gasper and half-back being called to play on. The number 1 draft pick way back in 1993. The give and go. He's been caught, strapped. Is it a free kick to Henschel? No, said the umpire. Edwards, good stuff by Tuck. That was a big hard ball get. Oh, Johnson got dealt with by Burton after the kick. Umpire let it go, but it's a free kick downfield anyway, and it's going to Simmons.
6 of one and half a dozen of the other, I reckon. I mean, it was clearly after the kick, wasn't it? Momentarily, but it was after. And it hurt a bit. Runner with him. Now Simmons, who's kicked Richmond's only goal. Intense game early. Delidio now. Just forward to the wing. Kicking to the contest and hung in the air too long for Pettifer, who points to the ground saying, I need it lower. And Tawney, the former Tiger, was able to make the spoil.
Well, this is Gasper taking on the tackle. A great tackle there. But Richmond were forced to go short. They need to get some run from behind, carry the ball, and then thump it inside their forward 50 to their tours.
Newman, it's a good kick into space. It's a beauty to do Richo, and he'll line up 40 metres out.
Now, Rob, one area Richmond are very strong at is at boundary line throw-ins. They're very good in that area. They get a number of clearances. We just see that hit out there by Noble, and a terrific kick to Richardson.
And they opened up that side of the ground, what they call the fat side of the ground, so Richo knew he could lead into space if the Tigers won the clearance.
And right through the middle, the Tigers get their second. Scores level at the Dome. Almost.
It's 1990. The first qualifying round between the Eagles of West Coast and the Magpies of Collingwood.
A goal etched in the memory forever. We give you
Peter Dacos.
We're home.
Laying over his head to Dacos.
Hemmed in on the boundary, 1990 revisited. Goes a goal! Oh, kicks a goal!
Oh, no! Yeah, Dacos! Bang!
And there we see Scott Thompson, and he's like a pinball machine out there. He's getting bumped from pillar to post by every Tiger who comes near him. So I reckon they're thinking, let's make life hard for him.
Simmons in ruck, winning once, twice, and maybe a third time. Can't get it out now. So middle stages of the quarter, and the Tigers have put themselves in this with 2 goals. Not that they were ever out of it, but the danger was they might be swamped early. Bigland's coming away from his own goal. Simmons beats him comprehensively. Good stuff, Shirley, to strip Coghlan of the ball. Coghlan with the numbers against him here. Edwards, Chaffee in there as well. Another ball up. Adelaide make a change. Doughty for Shirley. Shirley the tackler there on Mark Coghlan. Umpire Ellis to bounce the footy.
Bigland's against Noble. There's Burton. Did he get pushed? No. Newman. Good win for the Tigers there. To Simmons. To Chaffee. Just gets his kick away in time, but only as far as McLeod.
And what Brett Burton, the Adelaide winger's got to do is stop trying to con the umpire into winning a free kick. His coach wouldn't be happy with the way that he tried to stage that one. He had the front position. He's just got to go hard for the ball, win it on his merits.
Rashuto into the middle, found Goodwin. He got it to Bok. Now Tawney unloads from 65. It's a thumping kick. It's a point. Crows by 2 points.
Kellaway not daring take the kick in. That's not part of the setup. Newman takes it most of the time, and he places this magnificently, but Coughlin let him down. That was a bad miss, and it might rebound on them big time. He now tries to mop up and fumbles. Johnson works it to Kellaway. Richmond off the hook. Morrison, the inclusion, the former line, and he might have kicked that out on the full. He didn't quite. Burton thinks he did.
Tim, it was a great effort by Johnson to get the spoil. We just see Coughlin here. Should have taken the mark, but it was Johnson's spoil. It was an absolute beauty.
Simmons in the ruck for the Tigers. Trent Noble's gone to the forward pocket.
Hyde under the pump. Has another crack at it. Gee, it's a hot game this first quarter, and it's another mistake by the Tigers as the skipper kicks it out on the full.
Just watch Simon Goodwin put the tackle on Chaffee, his tagger, and it was a tackle that was there for keeps. He really drove him into the ground. Nothing wrong with it, just good, hard football.
Bok pumps it long to the tip of the goal square. From the side, McGregor couldn't take the grab. And Simmons got a little handball to Bowden. Can he use it to half back? Good trap by Stafford. Morrison. Johnson, well, he's got Pettifer loose at half forward if he can spot him. He does now. Pettifer should mail. Well played by Burton. Beautifully done to cause the spoil. And Burton won the football. Sensational stuff from the Adelaide Crow.
Safely out of defence now. Goodwin waits, and then waits his kick perfectly for Riley. That was beautifully delivered. Too far out, so he goes into the corridor where Tawney is loose now. He blazed and missed a moment ago. From 60 out, he misses same side. Another behind.
And just a pattern of play, Rob, the Crows are doing. At the moment, Richmond are pushing numbers back to the defensive half. And have a look at this effort by Burton, run with the flight of the ball, very well done. But at the moment, Richmond are pushing numbers in the defensive half, but they're not covering the Crows in the middle of the ground. Every time the ball goes to one of their players into the middle of the ground, they're going long towards goal, the Crows.
They're having a flying shot, aren't they? As we've seen Tawney have a couple of goes there. Spot on, Sauce. And what about that Burton spoil? The Birdman flying backwards was just excellent.
Newman to the wing, and that is a terrific mark taken by Simmons, who's had a good start to this match. Handballs to the veteran in Campbell. His kick missed the target. Doherty bounced off like a pinball to Thompson. To Tawney again, free. Chips it into the middle. There's a couple of Crows there. Marked by Edwards. Weighs up his options and decides to go long and wide. Welsh couldn't take the mark. Tigers had numbers at the ball, but attacking it is Henschel. Umpire will bounce 40 out from the Crows' goal.
Have a look at that, Steve. 12-4 in favour of Adelaide inside 50s. Problem is they're not converting on the scoreboard.
Tigers could be pleased with the scoreline on that basis. Goodwin over the foot. He needs to get it out now. He's in trouble. It does come out. Now Riley stuck over it. Umpire Ellis is skirting, and he delivers the arm cross of doom. It's Richmond's ball.
Yeah, it was a correct call. Riley had no attempt to hit that ball out, just laid on top of it.
Tigers 5 free kicks to 1. They've also had more turnovers, and here's another. McGregor dangerous. Had to get it quickly. He did. Burton wide. Well wide and short. And Bowden in the last line for Richmond. Their defence remains beleaguered. She went the underground hand pass from a set play position. And now they work it to Newman. They've been untidy coming out of the back.
Sloppy kick by Johnson, wasn't it? The Tigers out of trouble again as Gaspar finds Kellaway at half back.
They've done really well here, the Crows. They're holding them up, forcing them to kick the ball short.
And that's a mark to Biglands.
Straight back here. Thank you.
Poor kick. Just turn the ball over.
Their skill last week let them down. And they haven't improved much in this first quarter of round 13. Inside 50, go the Crows, and it's a mark to Jason Tawney.
Well, Jason Tawney caught us.
All night.
He has caught us, and Jason Tawney has been playing in the back pocket. He was on Pettifer. Pettifer's been taken from the field. That's his 5th disposal. Now, he's a backman getting all of his kicks forward of the centre. And Pettifer's been benched, and now Rains is playing in that forward position on Tawney.
And Tawney's kick found Scott Thompson, who will line up from no more than 40 metres out. He's kicked 15 goals, 10 this season. Having a very good year, averaging 19 kicks a game. And he has slotted it home. Third goal for the Crows.
Carlton Draft. Made with barley, hops and attractive yeast. Brewed in a big metal thing. Put in kegs and driven around. By horses. Poured into frosty sideways glasses. And drunk in pubs. Carlton Draft. Made from beer.
Tigers trail by 9. They're lucky to be that close. Low bounce, but a straight one. Biglands wins. Johnson stolen. Rains in there for Richmond. Biglands on hands and knees. Hard-won football. Newman can't get it out. Compton high. Tigers ball.
Newey around here, mate. Around here. Thank you.
Takes it wide where he has a man in space. It's Hyde, who set up their one goal, kicking it to Simmons. Hart the big spoil, and Adelaide in good numbers. Bassett with the fumbles. Tigers still a chance. Coughlin. Johnson. Noble. Bowden. Round in a big circle. Hyde. Now Rains. He's found there might have been a chance from there. 70 metres out. Hooks it into the pocket. Richardson and Rutten. Matner. Wrong side. Wants to hand pass. Forced to kick. Kicks well.
Nothing wrong with that as he finds Bassett. Pops it over the top to Edwards. The Crows are away. Overlapping is Thompson. He has time to have a bounce. Goes long. Welsh has one out with Gaspar. Good fizz from Gaspar.
Rob, just going back to the Richmond forward line setup, they've got a number of talls down in their forward half. At the moment, they're not working for each other. They're all going a bull out of the gate when basically they've got the ball up the ground. They need to be supplying blocks, giving a little shepherd here and there, just to try and free one up.
Yep. And I would think Richo would be the man you'd try to free up on most occasions.
Noble against Perry in the ruck. Noble won it comfortably. Kane Johnson, 10 touches for the Tigers this quarter. Bowden's also got 10. 7 each to Rashugo, Edwards and Thompson for Adelaide. The Crows by 9 points as we near quarter time. Noble again, good tap. Chaffee, Graham, Rains. Kick again, let him down. Allows Adelaide back into the picture. McGregor to Burton. He's under pressure. He concedes some space. He goes back to Matner, who gives it to the running Bock, who drills it long into the goal square. Big flyers wanted. And there's about 7 or 8 players over the top, and eventually it comes out. Gaspar to Tuck. Has a bit of a fresh airy. Perry's in there. So is Campbell. Kellaway can't get a clear handball away. Thompson into the picture. He's tackled by Chaffee. Oh, she's red hot in there, Robert Walls.
Oh, gee, just the numbers. But the problem is there are more Richmond players around the ball. But if they get a quick kick, the Tigers, there's just a heap of Crows around the middle of the ground ready to send it back.
And once again, Rob, they went long inside their forward 50. At the moment, these Richmond defenders are under enormous pressure. The ball just keeps getting pumped in there.
Last 70 seconds. Last thing Tigers want is to concede another goal. Bowden wrong side. And like so many left footers, is very dodgy on the right. And decided that even embarrassing discretion was the better part of valour.
OK, who's the best left footer who can kick on his right foot? I've got one from the past, Bobby Skilton.
He'd be in a league of his own, I reckon.
Yeah, Simon Black.
There have been some bad ones. Now, Newman the give and go.
There are some, Tim, who've never kicked on their right foot.
Bowden, again, running onto his right side, using the left for Coughlin. Good pair of hands that time after dropping an easy mark in a vulnerable position earlier on from a kick-in. Now, Richmond with half a minute to make something of this.
I reckon this is where they get themselves into trouble. They all spread to get a short kick. It was good play by Richardson.
He needed to mark that.
They need to get some run from behind.
Steve, have you ever played where you haven't trained through weeks with limited training, and how does it affect you?
15 seconds left. Let's just see what happens here. Stafford in the midst of it. Couldn't hang on to the mark. Cracker. They need a bit of magic. Tivendale, he's a left footer, but he couldn't get the ball onto his boot. And the Crows might hurt on the rebound in the dying seconds. The quarter comes to an end, and Adelaide lead by 10 points. They deserve to lead by at least that.
Well, they do, Tim, because Adelaide certainly had far more of the ball. They've had more inside 50s, double, in fact, 15-7. Just a quick one, Steve. When you don't train, how long can you keep going that way?
Well, it's difficult over time, Rob. Richo's a natural endurance type athlete, so I think he can get through it for the next couple of weeks, but after that, it becomes very tough.
Quarter time at Telstra Dome. It's the Adelaide Crows leading the Tigers by 10 points. As we go to the break, we look at the Goal of the Year competition for round 12.
Some fantastic goals from round 12, including this from Carlton's Justin Davies.
What can he conjure?
Geelong's Peter Riccardi shrugs off 2 Crows and kicks truly from the 50.
Elects to go himself, gives it a ride with the breeze. Was it touched? No! Riccardi with back-to-back goals.
But the winner of the Toyota Goal of the Year for round 12 is West Coast Phil Matera.
From the pocket, pulls it back. Oh, that's it. That's it, he's got 4. He's entitled to spring in the
air. Sometimes all it takes is a look, a smile, a touch. But in the rules of attraction, what happens when those boundaries get blurred?
Trey, no.
You're gonna run it, I'm not good enough?
No, look, I don't mean it like that, okay? Just like
Tuesday is Ryan Marissa's only hope. The OC, 8:30 Tuesday.
Subway Restaurants introduces new fresh toasted subs, like the fresh toasted chicken and bacon ranch sub, toasted top to bottom and all the way through on our freshly baked bread. A great new taste no one can resist. That's our sub.
Dude, you gotta stop doing that.
Subway Restaurant's new fresh toasted chicken and bacon ranch sub. Toasting brings out a great new taste. Great for dinner or anytime.
I just want to look at it.
Subway, eat fresh.
Simpson, proud sponsor of AFL Auskick, wants your family to share the excitement of the AFL Family Round. Simpson are giving a lucky family of 4 the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for 2 family members to play in the AFL Auskick Celebrity Match at the Gabba on July 2nd. This great prize includes return flights, 4 match tickets and accommodation. To enter, call 1900 966 352 or SMS your name and address to 1971 1223. AFL Auskick, proudly supported by Simpson. Quality kept simple.
Don't wait, jump now, because there are always great deals at Toyota. Get family-size space and 4-cylinder fuel economy with Camry Altice 2.4 Auto. All yours from $26,988 drive away, a saving of over $3,500. But get in now, because Toyota dealers are ready to deal at the end of financial year.
Oh, what a feeling, Toyota. Wake up and
top of the world. Silly Dreamland feeling.
In Dreamland stock take sale, we've stopped counting our massive Sealy range. We're discounting it, like Sealy Super Special Posturepedic. Save a massive $500. Or how about a Sealy back and body bed? Save $300. So don't count it, discount it at Dreamland.
Get that Sealy Posturepedic feeling. Sealy at Dreamland.
Blues Brothers. Beat the others cold.
Drop in for Johnny Walker and Cola or Johnny Walker and Dry, just $14 a six-pack or $49 a carton. Or pick up any two of these for just $50. Valentine Scotch, Canadian Club Whiskey, Finlandia Vodka, Beefeater Gin and Southern Comfort Liqueur. And grab His and Hers 12-packs, Crown Lager and Pure Blonde, the new low-carb beer, only $39.99 for both. See the web for more great offers.
Blues Brothers.
Beat the others cold.
Network 10 Adelaide would like to acknowledge the support of their 2005 local AFL sponsors, Truscott's and Toshiba, the Plasma, LCD and Surround Sound Specialists. Booze Brothers, proudly South Australian owned. And Stratco, what do you need today?
And that is one of the hardest spoils to perfect, running with the flight of the ball and not giving away a free kick. Burton did it, and the long, strong spoil by Ben Hart is good as a kick to set the Adelaide Crows up in defence.
Mark Rashuto having an animated conversation with Neil Crane, just explaining something that went on in that first term. It's the Adelaide Crows. Well, they're probably disappointed with just a 10-point lead, considering the amount of inside 50s they had. 3-4-22 to the Tigers. 2 straight goals. They got it in plenty of times, the Adelaide Crows, but just couldn't convert on the scoreboard as Matthew Richardson makes his way to full forward to start the second term. Christine Malthouse.
Thank you, Stephen. Well, a few of the Adelaide players changed their shoes at quarter time. I mentioned earlier about them replacing the turf in the centre of the ground, but the rest of the ground, especially on both wings, it's still quite slippery. Underneath the grass, it's almost like clay, so it doesn't provide a lot of grip for the players, and that's where they're having the trouble with so much moisture. That's where they're finding it slippery. In the centre of the ground, they've got new grass. It hasn't really had time to knit. They're hoping it's not going to move too much under their feet, but that is the better part of the ground.
And that is the Richmond goal square, and it is absolutely chock-a-block. Big fellas, little fellas, the Crows forward line much more spread out.
Start the second term. Hudson won it for the Crows. Handballs to half-forward Rashuto. Stood up in the tackle and got it off to Thompson. Kicks a long ball into the forward pocket. It's a 2-on-2 situation. Perry tries to soccer off the ground. Now it was touched by Gasper. Good call by the goal umpire. Gasper got a finger on it. So only a point for big Ian Perry.
A lot of discussion about Adelaide's stats at Geelong last weekend when they had more hand passes than kicks. These two teams in the opening quarter tonight had 76 kicks and 73 hand passes. Richmond more hand passes than kicks. Adelaide marginally on the right side of the ledger, or the more orthodox side of the ledger. Morrison now for Richmond. A couple of kicks out of defence, and that's a well-placed one for Troy Simmons. It was pretty good in the first term. Kicked the Tigers' first goal with a big mark up forward. They need him to take plenty of them. This is Hyde as the Tigers look to build. Pretty uncoordinated Richmond in the first term. They'll need to improve to stay in this game for long. Hyde in bother. Besieged now. Newman, though, hustles Edwards off the ball, and there'll be a ball up. But Richmond making some awful mistakes.
Well, the reason why, Tim, is that the Crows were one-on-one, man-on-man, and we just saw that tackle there. Very well done.
Great tap by Hudson, but it went straight to Chaffee. He got it over to Coughlin, whose handball's a bit dodgy, put Stafford under the pump. Bock won it back for the Crows, but he's gang tackled.
That is a gang tackle.
You can't always pick your mark when you handball, but ideally you don't handball to big ruckman who are standing still. Tigers did it last week to Trent Noble. We just saw one there fired off to Stafford.
Hudson comfortably again, beautifully done to Thompson to Burton. What can the Birdman do? He goes the long option. Gasper works his way to the front. Brilliantly done, Darren Gasper. Wonderful mark.
Yeah, good win to Gasper there. Worked his way to the front. That was the Gasper of old. Confident, assertive defence as he's kicked off the carry. No, it hasn't.
You know what happens when you give the guy a rap?
Exactly. McGregor to Henschel. Now Adelaide have got the stutters. Matner, McGregor, going around in circles. That's more positive, and Welsh is on the end of it.
And Tim, they hesitated there, the Crows. We saw 3 players with the ball about 60 metres out. I would think that Neil Craig, the coach, at quarter time said, boys, we're getting it into the forward 50, but you must try to put it to the advantage of a teammate. And this is what they did. And the poor Gasper kick, gee, it got him into trouble, didn't it?
And his own man is on the end of it in the end. So that'll rub it in. And even more so if Scott Welsh can kick this for a 17-point break. And he makes no mistake.
$8:40 Sunday. After 9 years and over 200 shows, Raymond has its final episode ever.
They want to take a piece of my Raymond away.
A 90-minute spectacular on 10. The television event that was this year's most watched show in the US.
I knew one day this would happen.
It's not just a finale, it's a farewell.
What is it? What, Raymond?
What's happening?
The Raymond Special 90-minute finale. 8:40 Sunday on 10.
And there's a shot of Kane Pettifer, Richmond half-forward flanker, yet to get a touch of the footy. Had a pretty good season to date, kicked 18 goals. With Nathan Brown out, they really rely on Pettifer to kick 2 or 3 a week.
50th game for Kane Pettifer tonight. Tuck sends it slightly forward, but very wide. And Adelaide win the footy back. Matner to Thompson. Oh, has he been pinged? He has.
Stiff, he got rid of it.
It's a drop kick almost.
It was a drop kick.
Free kick to Bowden.
Thought the drop kick was a legal disposal.
Campbell. Playing game number 288 as he goes to half forward and finds Cracker.
Got a great block by his skipper there, Johnson.
Now Richardson provides the lead, but he goes shorter to Coughlin. He can run on here and have a kick at goal. He does, and he slots it home.
For your winter project, Bunnings Warehouse has everything you need. 4-litre flat plastic paint, $14.50. GMC air compressor, $98. 12-rail clothes error, $6.98.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
The Red Rooster Double Meal Steal is now on. Choose any 2 of these delicious meals and pay just $8. Just $8? But hurry, they won't be there for long. The Double Meal Steal at Red Rooster now.
It's 9 scoring shots to 3. The Tigers are like a man adrift in the ocean, spending a lot of time underwater, but coming up and just getting enough air to stay in the hunt. Goodwin for Adelaide and Rasciuto, the midfield machine, and they come out with a free kick. Goodwin's ball. Just Adelaide's second free kick of the night. The Tigers have had 7. Here's Hart running away from Pettifer and setting himself up for a careful placement to Perry. Beautifully done.
And Rob, how was that running off half back from Hart? It was hard, it was long, and once he got the ball, he was able to take a bounce, clear the next line, and it put the Richmond defenders under pressure. Great grab up forward.
Well, clearing the next line is what it's all about, Steve, and he just made the half-forward line for the Crows, took it out of the equation, forgot them, and just went to that full-forward line where he had Welsh and Perry waiting.
The bloke in the ocean is about to plunge further underwater again as Perry puts it through.
Free, yes me, I am a super fast iPrimus broadband modem, and right now I am free with any iPrimus broadband plan. iPrimus broadband plans start from as little as $19.95 per month. Plus right now, I am yours, free, on any iPrimus broadband plan. Call now because after June 30th you can't have me, free. Look at me and say you don't want me. You can't. I'm free.
Ian Perry gets his 17th goal for the season. And it's a handy buffer once again for Adelaide. Prosciutto goes hard, as always. Almost a free kick there for Adelaide.
Gee, it's obvious the umpires are going to let the play go on, because even the players have thought at times that surely you're going to blow the whistle and we'll have another bounce down.
Noble off. Jackson on for the Tigers. Adelaide go to their 50 once again. McGregor battles against Morrison. Now Johnson out wide to Hyde. Oh, bang, he's caught one of the mush. And well, poor Chris Hyde, we know what happened a few weeks ago when he got a hairline fracture of the skull. And you just hold your breath when you see things like that with his head over the footy. Well, it was nothing illegal about it.
There was. The only thing I'd say is Burton forgot the footy. He's let the football go past and he's crashed into Hyde.
And I think the other thing, Robbie may have cocked his shoulder first.
Just took his back in the contest.
Oh, no.
Well, was the ball in play or not?
Well, he runs past the ball.
There's an angle that we saw before where he just runs past the footy. It's pretty clear that he does that. And in the climate that we're in at the moment, that'll certainly be looked at.
Got to be looked at. Deserves to be, in my opinion. I mean, the bloke over the ball has got to feel safe to put his head over it without his head being knocked off.
And I reckon Burton probably could have got to the ball first anyway.
Good. Pettifer. As the Tigers look to play a bit more catch-up. Impossible angle, as they say in the classics. Virtually on the boundary. Good tilt, but missing near side. Richmond's first miss, they were due. It's 10 scoring shots to 4.
McLeod goes to short option. And the ball ends up in the arms of Edwards, who always uses the ball beautifully. He has 3 bounces, make it 4. Now inboard on the left, and he finds Bock.
There's the run.
Great transition by the Crows. Shirley knocked it up, and he got it back to Bock. And that's beautifully done by Adelaide.
And again, Quarters, it's just the way that the coach has spoken to them at quarter time. Bit of composure going forward. Now, let's see what happens in this clash. There's the footy. And Burton forgets the footy and crashes into
Well, we might as well
Hyde.
just get rid of the hip and shoulder altogether then. Just completely ban it.
No, the onus is on you to make sure that if you're going to run harder to play, you don't get him in the head.
Well, he didn't get him in the head in the end. He got him in the upper shoulder.
I think that's one thing he's got going for him, that he didn't do any damage.
Welsh from directly in front, from about 52 when he puts boot to ball. A bit of hang time in that kick.
But your point, Quarters, about getting rid of the hip and shoulder, your use of the hip and shoulder today is a lot different than what it was a decade ago and certainly 2 decades ago.
When you look at it again, he did make contact with the head.
Yeah, definitely. Free kick certainly there, and it warrants scrutiny. Coughlin down the wing, all Adelaide. Their numbers at the ball are overwhelming Richmond. Shirley can't keep it alive.
Well, it's a great feature of our game, and I guess you might as well just, I mean,
you've got to be judicious in your use of it. I think that's the message.
But over the last 12 months, we've become judicious all of a sudden.
But I think, Steve, the hip and shoulder's allowed fairly. You're not allowed to hip and shoulder someone in the head. It's as simple as that.
Great debating point.
And that's the good thing about footy, isn't it? Everybody has an opinion.
Absolutely, and there are about 35,000 of them here, or maybe not that many. It's a moderate crowd, it has to be said. Stafford against Hudson, now Shirley. And it's a good creative ball for Thompson, and that's a very good centering ball. Hoping for Perry. He's a good target.
Well, Rob, it's a matter of time. When you've had 21 inside 50s to 9, eventually your forwards are going to start marking it.
And you've had 11 scoring shots to 4. The indications at the moment are that this is going to get ugly.
Perry squeezes it home for his second. Adelaide lead by 23.
Carlton Draft. Made with barley, hops and attractive yeast. Brewed in a big metal thing. Put in kegs and driven around by horses. Poured into frosty sideways glasses and drunk in pubs. Carlton Draft. Made from beer.
Well, we've had some hot debate about the Burton clash with Hyde. He was a couple of minutes earlier when, well, Burton lined up Hyde and he missed him.
He didn't miss him the second go.
In the middle is a free kick going Richmond's way. And the recipient is Bowden. He gets past Thompson. Now he can load up here, Joel Bowden. Oh, he's gone too low. And he's been run down.
That Quarters is holding the ball.
Oh.
And that just destroys the confidence of the younger Richmond players when they see a veteran get run down like that, and then no one stands the mark, so he's able to run.
And now Mattler's going to split them open. Here's a lovely siding left foot kick, and he sides that onto Scott Welsh's sternum.
And it goes right back to Steve Silvani's point about carrying the ball over and getting over a line. Now Mattler wins the free kick. He's got it on the defensive side of the circle. He's able to run and carry that ball 25 metres, so they eliminate the half-forward line and they hit the full forward on the lead.
Welsh for his second. And Adelaide go further ahead. It is turning ugly.
Hello, Moto.
And they're the clearances for this second quarter, 6-1, so a domination by the Crows. But not only that, have a look who's in at the centre circle for the Crows. They've got players like Thompson and Shirley and Edwards. And it just means that Risciuto...
Stafford, he's out of the circle. He's out of the circle.
Risciuto and Goodwin are playing across half forward.
Yeah, that's interesting because Stafford started that ruck contest out of the circle and has been penalised and brushed past the umpire.
So he wasn't
in the water too. Be careful there.
He wasn't in the inner circle.
Well, that's how I read the free kick.
Yeah, I think he may have had a foot outside the inner circle.
Well, it's just starting to unravel when you get that at the centre bounce, when you get Bowden get run down and tackled from behind, you get no one stand the mark when Mattner takes the free kick, and then in turn they are able to get it to the full forward line and goal.
Trent Henschel hit the opening goal of the match in the opening seconds. Line up from about 53 metres out. Interesting approach towards goal, but it doesn't matter when you kick like that. He slotted it home for another one. Very interesting approach as he kicked that one, Sauce. Unusual method.
Yes, very unusual, but he's having a very good game. Henschel, he's led up to the ball here. Double grab, but he's kicking goals, and that's what he was brought in this team for at the start of this game, giving him another avenue up forward.
This is sideway hook. That is crab-like. But he obviously knows what he's about because he deliberately did it, and it might just mean he gets that extra 5 metres on the kick because he kicked it from outside 50. It was a long kick.
Terry Wallace being handed a note there. We're wondering whether this might be something conveyed from radio or television commentary. He has indicated that he has people in the box listening to the experts' points of view. Robert Walls, Stephen Silvani.
There's Risciuto, well and truly out of the thick of the action. That's a good sign for the Crows because he's going to have plenty in the tank for later in the game, the same as Goodwin.
This is shaping as a hammering. Adelaide by 35 points, 14 scoring shots to 4. And the inside 50s, 2.5 to 1. On that count, it's a slaughter. Tuck for Richmond. Richardson edged out by Rutten. Good strong stuff by the young Adelaide defender.
And this is where the umpires have just let it go.
Well, they say their ball-up stats are down this year. I suppose if you let it go for long enough, there's a chance that that will happen, but we're still seeing a lot of ugly balls. 16 so far this evening. Hudson, clean palm, bad result. Tark, flying shot, curling across the face. Tigers trailed by 34 points. Not sure what Hudson was after there. He knocked it a bit fiercely, perhaps, for the man at his feet.
McLeod to do the kicking in. Goes up the middle and finds Shirley. Now Bock. Oh, good hard running again from the Crows' defence. Gee, they're killing him at the moment as they go inside 50. And strong hands by Perry. Again, brilliant football, Adelaide.
Well, you called it. Well, it was the hard running. They got the first kick off, Rob, but then they had a player running from behind, and that's something that Richmond have failed to do. Adelaide have always given it the ball to a moving player going to their direction. Good hard running. They got the ball up quickly to Perry.
That was Ben Rutten on that occasion.
And Ian Perry, this will be his third goal of the quarter, and I think it's time to move Mark Graham and get Callaway onto it.
So Perry slots it home. The assist came from Rutten. Crows further ahead.
This is Dr. House's hand-picked team. Meet Dr. Alison Cameron. So why did House hire her? Was it A, she's an A-grade student, B, she has a nice personality, or C, she's incredibly hot?
You know that women can have an hour-long orgasm?
Answer, she's incredibly hot.
She's weird, isn't she? Hey, you want to go get some...
No. See why all doctors aren't created equal. House premieres June 26.
Chris Hyde having a spell. I hope it's not related to that knock on the head a little while ago. The fact that it was Hyde on the receiving end from Burton, I guess, just added emphasis to the incident, given the horrible incident he was involved in 6 or 8 weeks ago. Another Adelaide takeaway. Mattman to Shirley. This is a beautiful move. Now Riley. Oh, great team-oriented thinking. Welsh was on the lead. He might have blazed, but he went short.
And what they've done this quarter is take marks inside their forward 50. And have a look at that, Steve. 8. Now, how'd you like to be playing full back against that Adelaide forward line with the ease in which the Crows are taking the ball away from the centre?
No, thank you, Rob.
Terry Wallace is finding out about life at Putt Road in recent weeks. Perry and Welsh have kicked 5 between them for the quarter. Welsh makes it 6, and the margin is 46.
Cheers, mate.
Jeez, I wouldn't camp there if I were you.
There's drop bears.
Drop bears?
They're like a bigger, meaner sort of koala bear.
Then they drop from the tree.
Yeah.
And then grab your head by the head.
Classic.
Matthew Richardson down the other end saying, what about me? 46 points, Crows in front. Tuck, quick kick out of the pack, an ineffective one. There's 4 Crows chasing, leading the race, but there was a horrible bounce, which favoured Richmond. Campbell to Tivendale, who pops it inside 50, but only as far as McLeod, who goes to half-back, and Burton pops it over the top to Goodwin. What a great player he's been for the Crows. Back to Burton once again. Does a U-turn. Now Chaffey. Henschel's in there. He won it back again for Adelaide to Goodwin. And we'll have a bounce on centre wing.
And this is really good coaching by Neil Craig. You can see Kane Johnson's got the tagging job on Rashudo. Wherever Rashudo goes, Johnson will go with him. In the first quarter, Johnson had 11 disposals. In this second quarter, Rashudo's gone nowhere near the action. He sacrificed his own game, Rashudo, and played deep forward. As a result, Kane Johnson's gone from 11 touches to 2 in this second quarter.
Is this sort of play you'd be wanting to sacrifice, though, Rob?
Well, that's what Terry Wallace now has to make a decision. He's got to get Kane Johnson into the thick of the action because the game is being played on the Crows' terms. It's a coaching victory at the moment to Neil Craig.
The ball up count nears 20. And there'll be another one.
Both going to it.
It's 3 on the one spot.
See, the Tigers can't afford to have Kane Johnson out of the thick of the action. The Adelaide Crows can afford to have Rashudo out of the thick of the action because they've got so many others who can play well there.
Chris Hyde with his tracksuit on there. The other players weren't wearing theirs. Delidio sweeping it to Bowden. And this time he kicks quickly. Richardson lost his footing. Well played by Jackson. Bowden kept coming. Could kick it from there. Got the distance. Adelaide by 45 points.
McLeod, he's got a short on. It's Hart. He goes over the top to Tawney. There's Chris Hyde. Tawney goes short. Finds Skipworth.
Well, they're hesitant to go down the line to the Crows because Simmons, is the big ruckman, is just the extra man in defence there, so they want to bypass him if they can.
They've worked really well here, the Crows.
Riley.
Sacrifice space for each other.
And Burton.
I'll go Tawney maybe inside.
He tries to break the line. Out of bounds, but it was a good smother by Andrew Rains.
And this is an interesting matchup. Welsh, who's kicked 3 goals in this second quarter, opposed by Newman. And that's a back pocket player playing on a key position player. It just shows that Terry Wallace has got his hands tied a bit at the moment.
And Gasper on to Perry.
Campbell, very clever hand down to Tuck, who was forced to kick in a hurry. Made good contact with the left. Richardson. Another mistake. High tackle in there, surely with the leg, and it's spotted. Free kick to Richmond.
Let's just taking him in the head.
Rains to take it. Closer to goal than in the previous quarter. Low ball and cracker. Surprised McLeod. He was never really in the hunt.
Tell you what, Tim, I reckon it was a bit of a mongrel kick.
Oh, it wasn't meant for cracker, no way.
I think he was going long to Noble, but the kick just dropped short. There's the free kick. Yes.
He kicks like his old man, doesn't he?
He does.
Looks like his old man.
Yeah.
Holds the ball low on stiff arms. Now here's Cracker though. Point blank range. Tigers pull one back.
Hey.
Hey, babe. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, Moto.
Rob, I like the Crows set up here. We see Burton and Matner coming on the defensive side. Gives their midfielders and defenders great support around the back.
Coming off the line and then going to a defensive spot. Just means they protect all the angles. If the opposition get a big punch forward, well, they've got those half-back flankers ready to cover.
And rarely has Richmond won it out of the middle with these. They've got Matner and Burton supplying that support.
There is Matner. And he's been penalised.
On the full now. On the full now.
Just a couple of minutes before half-time. Tigers need to get another one. If they get another one, they can get the last 2 of the quarter. Gives them some hope.
Callaway marks in the middle. He goes out wide. It's a good kick to Bowden on the right boot. There's a good pass to Pettifer. It was a nice kick for goal.
And a nice right foot kick by Joel Bowden. He's a natural left footer.
Kane Pettifer's kicks 18 goals, 9 for the season. Tonight, game number 50.
Matner's mistake was to put his hand back on the ball after it started coming out.
Must kick goal. As always, give a guy a rap.
Very intense young player, Kane Pettifer.
Well, I reckon he's playing for his career this year, Tim. Been at the Tigers for a few years now and has shown some good signs in the first half a dozen games.
Ambitious kick from McLeod, but beautifully executed for Rutten. He's been a good defender for them this year. Thompson, casual on the left side, played it close to the boundary and edged it over. Rains again. I think the contact was better. Delidio. Campbell, the veteran. Now Pettifer on the run. Try your luck there. Shocker.
Ball kick. But the build-up was better. A better run.
That's not a great kick either. Tivendale.
Kick a goal.
He could almost load up from here, Greg Tivendale. Go back and have a run up. This is a beautiful kick on the run. He goes into the pocket. That's a free kick to Adelaide. Wasn't the right option there from Tivendale.
Tiger free kick.
It's a Tiger free kick, is it? Well, Simmons gets up. He wasn't actually sure he was receiving the free kick, but he says, I'll take it.
No. Richmond free kick.
Yep. Oh, good decision. Pushed Simmons, who cannoned into Bassett.
Simmons is more than happy to accept. So he'll line up 45-degree angle, only 25 out from goal.
Well, if he kicks it, the Tigers have got a bit of hope because they've had the last few attacks going in.
Simmons has kicked one. He's kicked 9 for the year. His conversion rate this year has been pretty poor. He started tonight at 40%. 8 goals, 12. He's up to 9 goals, 12 now. Shouldn't really miss from here.
Well, they've had the last 6 inside 50. That's good. Now they have made the move. Joel Bowden has gone into the back line onto Rashudo, and Kane Johnson now playing in the midfield for the Tigers. That's the way it should be.
Now, hopefully Adelaide will try and set something up in the last half minute. We have seen teams in this situation just soak up the seconds and play to hold their lead. It looks as though Adelaide might do that. I think they're going well enough to take Richmond on. Henschel now down in the back half. Richmond applying a football equivalent to a full court press. Tawney to Henschel. Thompson. Hart. And time is done. Adelaide hold their lead. Tiger fans not too happy about that. Adelaide by 37 points at halfway.
Well, a 7-goal-to-2 quarter in favour of the Crows, and gee, they look impressive when they get those centre breaks. And there's no doubt that their putting of the ball into the forward 50 was so much more controlled than it was in the first quarter. They settled down, they didn't rush it, they waited for the lead. A couple of times they just kicked it long, and Perry was able to take strong marks near the goal square. So an excellent first half to the Adelaide Crows.
We have heard, incidentally, the doctor hasn't been to Chris Hyde, so hopefully he's fine.
Major possession getters in that quarter. Bowden 15, in Johnson 13. As we go down to Christy Malthouse with a first. Christy.
Joel, you've got a big deficit. You've got a big second half coming up. What are you thinking as you make your way to the rooms? We can walk in.
Yeah, I guess 6 goals down. It's going to be tough, but we started to run a bit more there. We need to get the ball inside 50. I think we were down in the first quarter and started to get it back a little bit then. But, you know, if we can get 15 inside 50s, give our forwards a chance. We've played some good halves in the past, Port Adelaide, so hopefully we can come out all guns firing and give ourselves a good chance.
They've got a good midfield, don't they?
They do. They're strong, but, you know, we've got to try and shut them down and just get the ball into our forwards, give them a chance.
What are you expecting from Terry now?
Oh, I'm sure he'll tell us the same thing. We didn't get the ball inside 50, and we've just got to make sure we get it in there. Running through the midfield, taking some risks, and away we go.
Well, good luck for the second half.
Thanks, Christy.
And a big thank you to Joel Bowden, a big thank you to the Richmond Football Club for giving us his time as Terry Wallace addresses the troops at half-time on Telstra Dome. It is the Adelaide Crows 10-6-66, leading the Tigers 4-5-29 by 37 points at the main break.
almost cut down in her prime.
I take it she didn't slip in the shower.
$1 million clue missing.
What's a Del Jesu? A violin. It's a Del Jesu.
An unusual case on Law and Order. 8:40 Monday on 10.
What you need? Ha. What you want? Yeah. Do it. Yeah. Do it good. Do it right. Wow. Do it now. Come on. Wow.
Whatever your lifestyle needs, contact Stratco or an authorised Outback dealer today.
For the next 40 seconds, you were an air traffic control officer in the Australian Air Force. You've been deployed to set up a remote base.
Thanks, over there. Kilo 4, please advise position.
Kilo 4, approaching from the east, require priority landing.
Boss, that thunderstorm's coming in earlier. That strip's going to turn to mud.
This is Herc 019. Patient's condition now critical. Request immediate clearance for takeoff.
What happens next? It's your call.
Herc 019, cleared for immediate takeoff. Kilo 4, track to the field for immediate...
1, 2, 3, wheel left. Left. 4, 5, 6, keep it tight, keep it tight. Starfish. 6, 7, 8, and come together. 10, 11, 12, and pull.
Ready? Yeah! Woohoo! Starfish! 4, 5, 6, come together! How do we turn it off?
Try the smooth taste of New V Black.
The all-new Discovery 3. Simpson, proud sponsor of AFL Auskick, wants your family to share the excitement of the AFL Family Round. Simpson are giving a lucky family of 4 the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for 2 family members to play in the AFL Auskick Celebrity Match at the Gabba on July 2nd. This great prize includes return flights, 4 match tickets and accommodation. To enter, call 1-900-966-352 or SMS your name and address to 1971 1223. AFL Auskick, proudly supported by Simpson. Quality kept simple.
As an officer in the Air Force, you get all the training you need. You'll learn to show leadership and initiative, no matter what the situation.
Kilo 2, track to the field by western approach. Cleared for immediate...
Subway Restaurants introduces new fresh toasted subs, like the fresh toasted chicken and bacon ranch sub, toasted top to bottom and all the way through on our freshly baked bread. A great new taste no one can resist.
That's our sub.
Dude, you gotta stop doing that.
Subway Restaurant's new fresh toasted chicken and bacon ranch sub. Toasting brings out a great new taste. Great for dinner or anytime.
I just want to look at it.
Subway, eat fresh.
The Long Change, brought to you by Primus Telecom.
Yes, half-time at the Telstra Dome and the Crows in control. They lead by 37 points. A great second quarter. It looks as though it's almost all over.
They appear to be a class above the side that they're playing tonight, don't they?
Absolutely.
Sadly for Richmond fans.
Well, the other game being played tonight is, of course, in Darwin. Carlton and the Western Bulldogs. And the Bulldogs have got away to a fly and at quarter-time lead by 24 points, 4 goals. And they've shared the goals around, 6 individual goal kickers. Favola and Whitnell, the goal kickers for the Blues, and Scott West, the standout player on the ground with 11 possessions. And Andy, very early on, they just kicked easy goals, the Western Bulldogs. No defensive pressure at all there from the Blues, with Mitch Hahn kicking the first goal of the match.
The 2 Carlton blokes fell over. There was no one goal side for the Blues. There was no one on the outrider. That was Hahn. This was the second goal they kicked of the game. No one on Ryan Griffin. No one coming at Ryan Griffin. Give him all the time in the world to steady up. The kid's a quality player.
That was a great goal, wasn't it?
He did what you'd expect a quality player to do. This was just far too easy. Everybody in the ground could see this one coming. Everybody knew it was going to happen, that Cooney was always going to lay this off. And yet, again, no defensive awareness from Carlton. No one picking up Rowan Smith, sauntering over to him, letting him get balanced, and he does what good players do.
It looks like a Carlton side that are just waiting to have the 1 week off.
Well, it does, and this bloke might need it, Chris Bryan, after this. This was horrific at the time. He got up and played on. Actually had a free kick paid against him for that, believe it or not. Another goal resulted. No one goal side on Eagleton. You can't let players like him do things like that, but this was an incident.
I thought he had broken his neck here.
It looked horrible, didn't it? It looked absolutely horrible. Chris Bryant has been a bit of a revelation in his 3 games for the Blues. That looked awful. He did get up, a bit of a cut lip, and he played on. Mark Fraser, you'll notice they're throwing the ball up in the centre bounce. He had a few little problems. His first bounce of the night went sideways and not very high, and he decided to start.
Good on him for throwing. They've obviously said to him, if you're not comfortable, throw it up. So fantastic to see it.
Couldn't agree with you more. Fantastic.
You're going to agree with me?
I agree with you more often than not. You're a very wise man.
Well, Mark Fraser can certainly umpire. Let's hope he survives in the umpiring ranks. Well, don't forget to tune in after the big game at the Telstra Dome for the 5th quarter with all the latest news, all the football news. Back shortly at the Dome.
The Long Change, brought to you by Primus Telecom.
Hello, sick people. I'm Dr. Gregory House. I am a board-certified diagnostician with a double specialty of infectious disease and nephrology. I'm also the only doctor currently employed at this clinic who's forced to be here against his will. But not to worry, because for most of you, this job could be done by a monkey with a bottle of Motrin.
You're not a very nice doctor, are you?
Doesn't sound like me.
Well, it does, actually.
What's this treatment gonna do for me?
I'm not talking about a treatment, I'm talking about a cure.
Coming in June, the new series about the mysteries of life, the wonders of modern medicine, and one remarkable doctor.
Next time you want to get my attention, wear something fun. Lowrider jeans are hot.
You're gonna love him. Hugh Laurier's House. Premieres Sunday, June 26.
For your winter project, Bunn's Warehouse has everything you need. 320-gram liquid nails, $3.96. Storage box, $29. Dwarf Sacred Bamboo Starters, $2.50.
Bunn's Warehouse!
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Excuse me. Can I get a couple of coffees over here, please? Excuse me, over here. Can I get a cappuccino and a latte, thanks?
Now you can get cafe quality espresso coffees in your car at McDonald's drive-thru using freshly ground Arabica beans and freshly frothed milk. They're so good, you'll think someone else made them.
Excuse me. Hello?
Hi, how can I help you?
The all-new Discovery 3.
The end! TCB Warehouse closes forever!
$560,000 of dining furniture!
Dining suite!
Chairs!
Kitchen!
Coffee tables!
Wall units!
Dresses!
Entertainment units!
Tables!
Save at least 30 to 61%!
Fresh stock arriving now!
Look for the special tag! Le Cornu!
Do you wish your hair could look this strong? Try Pantene with Amino Pro V Complex. It'll help to make your hair up to 10 times stronger.
14 inches.
16 inches.
19 inches. No matter what your size. Bob Jane T-Marts has thousands of wheels to clear in our annual stock take. There's a massive 40% off RJR Torque, RJR Grid and AMG Vortex. Plus hot wheel and tyre packages start at an unbelievable $699. Bob's annual stock take is on now. See our catalogue or race into...
What you need, what you want, yeah. Do it, yeah. Do it good. Do it right. Wow. Do it now. Come on. Wow.
Select from the wide range of styles available in Stratco Neighbourhood Fencing.
The Red Rooster Double Meal Deal is now on. Choose any two of these delicious meals and pay just $8. Just $8? But hurry, they won't be there for long. The Double Meal Deal at Red Rooster now.
One of the great things about AFL football, it's a game of opinions. Was this a legal bump or was it not? Brett Burton on Chris Hyde. We know Chris Hyde had a terrible head injury earlier in the season. We had a big argument about it, Rob, on air.
Yes, we did, and the more I look at it, the more I think that Brett Burton's in a bit of strife because, one, he forgot the footy, let the football go past him, and two, he made contact to the head of Chris Hyde, so I think he's got some problems ahead of him.
We'll find out on Monday. Adelaide 10-6-66 lead the Tigers 4-5-29 by 37 points. Perry and Welsh both kicked 3 goals in that quarter. What a quarter it was for the Crows.
Well, it was. Have a look at the goal kickers for the Crows. You've got 4 players there, all big players who've been able to get amongst the goals. And the main reason for that, in that second quarter, they won the centre clearances and then they hit the leading forwards on the chest with some great passes.
Let's have a look at the first half highlights. And we're going to start with what a luxury it is to have Andrew McLeod, one of the champs of the game, playing so deep for Adelaide.
Yes, well, he's playing in that back line, back pocket. He often gets the smallest and the quickest opposition forward. It's Andrew Cracker tonight. He's played on Aaron Davey. He's played on Andrew Lovett, the bomber forward, and this has been an interesting matchup too. Yeah, 2 captains against each other. And Risciuto played the first quarter mainly in the midfield. He got 7 or 8 touches, and Kane Johnson got 11 touches. Well, they changed that round in the second quarter with Risciuto playing deep forward.
The signs were there in the first quarter, even though the Crows didn't convert. They were going to break the game open in that second term.
Well, they had more of the ball going into their forward 50 in the first quarter, but they just couldn't take advantage of it, and they certainly did in this second quarter. Perry was good on the lead, Welsh was good on the lead, Henschel was dangerous up forward, and McGregor at centre half forward, he was getting plenty of it too. So it's a pretty tall forward line, but with quality ball coming in, gives those big forwards every chance.
As I said, Perry and Welsh both kicked 3 goals in that second quarter.
But, Stephen, they just dominated the clearances in that second quarter. And the thing is, they did it without Risciuto and Goodwin being in there.
Now, the Tigers had plenty of the football last week, but their skill let them down, and it is exactly the same tonight.
Yes, and there's Joel Bowden, and he's one of the better players, most skillful players, but he makes too many skill errors for a skillful footballer, if that makes sense. They just turn the ball over. We've seen Darren Gasper do it. Coughlin missed an easy kick in that he should have marked there. The ball is stripped away from Chris Hyde, and Terry Wallace knows he's got years of really working the skills with his group.
Let's have a look at the Primus whiteboard. What do you want to do, Coach?
Oh, well, I don't know if we'll make too many moves there. It's certainly working well. I just like that Adelaide back line. Bassett is prepared to leave his opponent to get over and cover and help out. Rutten gets whoever plays at full forward, be it Richardson or a small player. The coach leaves Rutten at full back. The other young fella, Bock, at centre half back, he's got his hands full tonight because Troy Simmons is one of the few Tigers who's playing pretty well.
Let's move into the midfield.
Well, have a look at the midfield. Bigland's doing the ruck work, and then Skipworth, Thompson and Doughty. None of them really big-name players, but given opportunity by their coach. And, of course, Burton and Matten are coming off the wings playing well.
Well, they made some changes late, Richmond, there with their defence.
They did, and Kane Johnson was moved into the midfield, which I thought was a good move. Look, the one thing there, that you've got Joel Bowden playing on a half-back flank for the Tigers. I'd be prepared to put... They're 6 goals behind. Bowden can kick 5 goals in half a game of footy. Not many other Tigers can. I'd put Bowden up forward and give him every opportunity to kick goals.
Half-time, Crows by 37 points.
For your winter project, Barney's Warehouse has everything you need. 4-litre flat plastic paint, $14.50. GMC air compressor, $98. 12-rail clothes error, $6.98.
Barney's Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Excuse me. Can I get a couple of coffees over here, please? Excuse me, over here. Can I get a cappuccino and a latte, thanks?
Now you can get cafe quality espresso coffees in your car at McDonald's drive-thru using freshly ground Arabica beans and freshly frothed milk. They're so good, you'll think someone else made them.
Excuse me. Hello?
Hi, how can I help you?
What's your lifestyle? Having dinner with some friends. What's your lifestyle? Hope the weekend never ends. City living has it. All you dream about and more. City living furniture, ranging prices you'll adore. What's your lifestyle? You love all there is in store for you and your lifestyle. It's city living furniture. It's your lifestyle.
8300 8300. This telephone number could save you thousands of dollars. Call the team at Bernie Lewis Home Loans, South Australia's largest independently owned mortgage broker. We could save you thousands with the right home loan. 8300 8300. Our service is free to you. So what have you got to lose? Put us to the test today and see for yourself. Bernie Lewis Home Loans. 8300 8300. Service, experience, integrity. Open 7 days a week.
I've always taken it as a warning about my hair loss, so I saw Advanced Hair Studio. And under therapy, I'm now regrowing my own hair.
Contact Advanced Hair Studios now.
Which lasts longer? While Duracell Alkaline keeps on running, Eveready Super Heavy Duty just can't keep up. With up to 3 times more power, Duracell always lasts longer than Eveready Super Heavy Duty.
Call 132378 now.
Subway Restaurants introduces new fresh toasted subs, like the fresh toasted chicken and bacon ranch sub, toasted top to bottom and all the way through on our freshly baked bread. A great new taste no one can resist.
That's our sub. Dude, you gotta stop doing that.
Subway Restaurants' new fresh toasted chicken and bacon ranch sub. Toasting brings out a great new taste. Great for dinner or anytime.
I just want to look at it.
Subway, eat fresh.
This is stock, Freddie. Take it. Go on, take it. There's 40% off. Truscott Stock Take sale is now on, with price reductions of up to 40% on a big range of stock. Take home theatre, $250 off. Take TVs, $150 off. Plasmas, $300 off. Take LCDs, $100 off. Camcorders, $100 off. Cameras, $50 off. Take fridges, $150 off. Washers, $200 off. Take the lot with up to 40% off. Don't miss Truscott's Stock Take sale. Round 12 provided some spectacular aerial action. Safe Max Hudson stands firm against the Hawks with his great grab. Running with the flight of the ball, Dehan Jared Rivers takes a courageous grab.
And that's what's great about our game.
But the winner of the Toyota Mark of the Year for round 12 is High Flying Hawk Brad Sewell.
That was a super grab from this young man, just up and away over the top of Luke Ball.
Welcome back to the Telstra Dome, where the Crows led the Tigers by 37 points. Well, we heard Joel Bowden as he came off the ground at halftime say that the Tigers need to put in a big second half, but he's confident they can do it. They've done it before. Let's see if they can do it again tonight. Chris Hyde has made his way to the bench at the start of this term. He was involved in a pretty heavy collision in the second term. He did come off towards the end of that. Now, he has had a head injury before, and he was wearing a helmet up until a couple of weeks ago, so he's starting on the bench. I spoke to the doctor. He did say he's okay, though.
And there's Mark Graham has been moved to the goal square in an attacking move by Terry Wallace, desperate to find some goal kickers.
We start this third quarter. It's Adelaide in front by 37 points, looking the goods. And there is, speaking of goods, Goodwin. As Tawney bangs it inside 50 from the side, Rasciuto. Now Perry, stripped of the ball by Gaspar.
The ball took him on.
He took him on the Tigers' way.
Took him on was Scott Jeffrey's assessment. It looked like a pretty harsh judgment.
Didn't look like a very clean tackle, did it?
Didn't have much time.
As Gaspar goes short to Morrison. To the wing.
Gee, that's a strong spoil.
It is, isn't it? Henschel. Over to Shirley. To Edwards. Adelaide run the ball inside 50 again. Perry loads up from 55. It's a thumping kick. And right on the line.
Still alive.
It's still alive.
It bounced off the goal umpire, who must have been on the line.
Push him in the face.
Look at this again. There was the fist. Oh, that's a point. I thought my first instinct was that it was a point.
Well, the entire ball has to clear the line, of course. His judgment might have been that part of it was hovering over the line.
That was a point.
It did look like it. Yeah, I'm with you, Quarters. Johnson of Richmond goes.
Win it last.
Well,
with you 2 quarters.
Richo would like a win here, and he won't have it.
Come on, Lane, lift the game.
What have we got? We've got a free kick to Richmond, and it's Tuck. Got a bit of early Wimbledon going on. 15-all. Richardson coming from a long way behind. McLeod read it well off the pack. Rutten, Matner on the non-preferred. Does it nicely. Now there's a left footer who knows how to use the right, Wolsey.
Yeah, not many of them out there, Tim.
He was careful about it. Hart, Thompson, well done, Kellaway. Pro down in the back half for Richmond. Now there's a high tackle, and the umpire, Ray Chamberlain, not convinced that Richmond would definitely derive advantage, so he brings the ball back. Kellaway has a man in space. It's Graham, who, as we saw, has gone forward, and Richmond a show here. Chaffey will have to kick from outside 50.
He can do it. Left footer.
You coached him, Rob?
When he started, a long time ago now, Tim, but he's had a fine career with the Tigers. Started off as a back pocket player, back flanker, and Terry Wallace has turned him into a hard-running midfielder.
Well, he hooked him in going for distance, and he missed by a long way. Free kick to Adelaide. Just looking at a replay of that incident at the other end, you see how tough the goal umpire's job is, because that ball came off hands at an unpredictable angle. He was in the right position, and there was nothing he could do to get out of the way.
Bassett in the back pocket. Finds Matner. Leads on from Thompson. Back inside defensive 50 to Hudson. So now the Crows break. Oh, gee. McGregor hit the turf hard there. What of a big divot. He's okay. To the running Bok. Has a couple of bounces. Runs himself into trouble. Doesn't panic. Gives it back to McGregor. Now Henschel. Going sideways. Picks his moment. Kicks a long ball. Delidio works his way to the front. Did it well. Rashuto gathers. Couple of Tigers tackle him. Rashuto releases. Stalemate now, a bounce. About 35 out from the Crows' goal.
Well, it wasn't pretty footy, but it was good play by Bok. He gave plenty of run from the back half. That's been the difference between the two teams.
They do run hard, and they are prepared to wait with the ball, the Crows, after a mark or free kick, and wait for someone to come from behind to run in space.
Rashuto around the corner. How will it bounce? Oh, very nearly. He had some off-break on it.
Had the arms in the air, the big brew as well.
He's celebrating, was he?
He was.
Crows by 38. That was the first score of the quarter, and it's taken 3.5 minutes in coming.
And Andy Kellaway not keen to do the kicking in. He says, I'll leave that to you, young Newman.
Newman's told to play on. And his kick finds Tuck.
Disposal number 14.
Into the middle, Noble. McGregor picks him off. Front and centre was Thompson. Having a great year was disposal number 17. Now Goodwin on the left. Back inside, the Crows attacking 50. Jackson's taken over the line and will have a throw in. 55 out from the Crows' goal.
Good to see young Jackson out there too, Steve. He's a young up-and-coming defender.
Brent Deludio, like the boy in the nursery rhyme, with one shoe off and one shoe on. Tivendale, natural left footer, didn't use it, now he will. And can kick the ball long and well, and he does to Richardson. Just a fraction low for Richo. Bassett mops it up. And it is all Adelaide. Burt, little low for Edwards, puts him under pressure. Thompson, queuing up in the corridor.
Richmond free kick! Richmond!
Tiger free kick for an instant down in Adelaide's goal square. It's against Ian Perry. And the Tigers, on a surprise rebound here, are a chance. A real chance now as Simmons can line them up.
Well, about 3 minutes ago, they switched Simmons to full forward and pushed Richo up to centre-half forward. You hear the umpire saying to Ian Perry, you got Gasper in a headlock. That's the reason why the free kick was paid. And it's about a 150-metre penalty. And the long kick to Big Simmons, who's playing a pretty good game for the Tigers.
But he's a little lucky there. I mean, he had a handful of jumper and there was a push in the back. I don't think forwards can complain too much these days that they don't get any protection. Simmons, 1 from 2 set shots tonight, gets his second goal.
We're here in Melbourne to relive a classic footy moment that has it all.
And who else could give us all this?
Who else but the maestro? Hey, James Hurd.
Hey, guys.
All right, so it's Essendon 131, West Coast 131. 30 minutes and 48 seconds gone.
Umpire has the ball up and it's on. He's got it. Hey, maybe Murphy should have kicked out. Not the umpire, I'm Bully. Bully gets it out the head.
Wait, the fairy tale's complete. James Hurd, you are a genius. Yes. Give it a hug.
So goal of the Tigers. This stat will get our Adelaide TV viewers blood boiling. Look at that for a free kick count. That's extraordinary. 18-4.
Adelaide should have their 5th from that incident in which Simmons took the mark.
Crows by 32. Edwards against Jackson. Good tackle by Jackson. Well done. Bowden. There's the Tigers out of trouble. To half forward. Well played by Rutten. Over to Bock. And he goes to the wing. Thompson again. To Hart. Draws the player. Pops it over the top. Support kick by Matner. Turnover. Bowden to centre half back, and here come the Tigers.
Pettifer, who delivered to Simmons for the first goal of the quarter. Had to kick under pressure. Unfortunately for him, the bounce was terrible for Graham. Bassett gives to McGregor. Oh, beautifully sold by Burton. Can he finish it with a goal? He was too unselfish for his own good.
Good effort by Burton.
Now, is Bassett not in the back of the man lying underneath him? It's a free kick.
You got it.
It's a free kick. Richmond's...
Well, that's 19-4.
And a 50 as well, Rob.
19-4.
There's no 50. Kellaway gives to Johnson. To Graham. Hard closing. He's got him. Got to be dropping the ball.
Free kick.
Now, however many thousand Crow supporters there are here, I'll tell you what, they've let rip with a roar. I think you're going to have to go and get the ball. Ben Hart.
I've got to say, once upon a time, that would have been a push in the back. He climbed on Graham's back.
Hudson's here on the wing, and Hart, the runner had to go out to tell him he was there.
So Hudson loads up on the left to Rashuto. Takes the mark.
I reckon he's ready to let rip the captain.
A big torpy.
He can play as a forward, right?
Yeah, look, he's had a quiet 30 minutes. He's sacrificed for the good of the team, and he'll be itching to get into it. No longer is Kane Johnson playing on him.
Rashuto. Oh, it's a shank. And the mark's taken by Gasper in the back pocket. Now Bowden. To Kellaway. Still inside the defensive 50, the Tigers. Kellaway's handball finds Tippendale. Now can he use it? To half forward. McLeod. Oh, Cracker had a win there, a big win. Then he's tackled. And the umpire will bounce. And I'm just trying to find that Adelaide player at the bottom of the pack. That was a big tackle. It was Goodwin, and it was beautifully done.
Not sure whether the free kick was for holding the ball or something else. Rutten delivers to Henschel. Burton now is Adelaide build. Centre was the right idea, and Perry comes up with the free kick.
Yeah, got 3 in a row, the Crows.
Hands over. Floodgates have opened. And you can see why it was awarded Perry's way.
But smart play by Perry, Steve, because he backed back into Gasper. As a full back, what do you do in that situation?
Well, you've just got to try and hold your ground. It was smart, as you said, by Perry. Rob, he was just protecting where the ball wasn't, making sure that Gasper couldn't get a fist to the ball, and Gasper was just all over him. Very smart play.
All of Adelaide's goals, all 10 have come from set shots. Perry has 3 of them. Margin 33.
Burton off, Riley on for the Crows, as Hyde prepares to come back on for the Tigers.
Well, that's good news. I want to see Chris Hyde come back on. I want to see him get plenty of the footy.
Graham's the man coming off for Richmond. No, it's in fact going to be Tivendale.
1 man, please, Ian. Thanks, mate. That's it.
So Gasper has it in the back pocket. Crows have put up the zone here. And they've broken it open nicely, Richmond. Gasper, the best of kicks, but it found its target in Johnson. Sweeps the handball to Jackson. Shows a lot of dash. The handball was ambitious, to say the least. Bop. 3 Tigers surround him. Now it's won back by Richmond. Hyde to Chappie. And the mark is taken by Jackson, who's run all the way down from the fence. Well played, young man.
And what I liked about Jackson, he got that ball in the centre of the ground, backed himself, had a run and a bounce, and actually took oncoming Crows on. And what it meant was that at least they were getting the ball quickly forward. And I reckon Terry Wallace would have said to them at half-time, Steve, you must take chances, you must back yourself, run and carry the ball, because if we just chip it around sideways and backwards and handball backwards as we did in that first half, we got no hope. And I reckon Terry's the sort of coach who'd say, let's give ourselves a chance to win, not stop being beaten by a big amount.
Now Jackson has never kicked a goal in his short AFL career, and that's the way it stays, because he's missed. 14th game tonight for Daniel Jackson, but he's missed, and just behind the Tigers.
Gee, that goal might have made things a little interesting. McLeod misses the target, but Rashudo's good enough to get it back. For Riley, Edwards, the veteran, under pressure. But Adelaide hold up strongly, and Rashudo comes away with it. Now McGregor, leading Morrison a merry dance. Clever little kick down the boundary line, but well judged by Newman. Now he handballed sideways from out of bounds. They're allowed to go on. Gasper, Kellaway. And Jackson, having had that shot for goal, gets himself back down into the defensive 50.
And Rashudo's been released into the midfield. He spent the last 40 minutes playing as a forward pocket.
Jackson switches. Stafford to Bowden. Good kick finds Deledio. This is just his 5th touch.
Thanks, Scotty.
Goes the low option. Richardson's got to beat 3.
Oh, yes.
He does! Magnificent mark by Big Richo.
Well, if Richo kicks it, it's the last 3 goals of the game to the Tigers.
Well, Rob, I reckon we've seen more urgency by the Tigers, as you said. They're trying to get the ball on a lot quicker when they've taken marks. They've got some run from behind. But a great kick and a great effort by Richardson just to fend off.
A must-kick goal for the Tigers. And he's got it.
Sauce, if you were Nathan Bassett playing in defence for Adelaide, I'm not sure you would have seen a great effort by Richo to fend off. I think you would have been screaming at the umpire for a free kick. Well, let's have another look.
Well, let's have a look at this. It was basically 3 against 1 there. I mean, Richo's done wonderfully well to beat 2 of those players, and really, one of the Adelaide players just needed to take his ground, take him away, take his space away, but Richo, 2-on-1, he's outdone him.
And there's Rashudo in at the centre bounce. He hasn't been there for a long, long time. Chris Hyde's in there as well. That's good to see. But for Tiger fans, the most important things, the last 6 marks inside 50 have been taken by Richmond.
Rashudo wins the clearance for Adelaide. Thompson. Now McGregor versus Morrison. Important ball. Bowden gets back to help out. And the Tigers prevail. Deledio, the youngster, hemmed in. Gives it to the skipper. Gives it to Bowden.
There's the run off half-back, Rob.
Jackson. And now in the clear is Kellaway, but the door closed in his face. Has to hold it. Has an option short. Goes for Pettifer. Richmond starting to play with a bit of confidence.
Some real movement happening now.
They're edging back. Gasper's come down from defence. Cracker brings it to ground. Gasper. Bassett. Rutten. Crows under pressure for the first time tonight, but they hold up. Shirley, hand pass hung in the air, but Rashudo quick enough. to get it off to Bassett. And Adelaide is steady. Perry coming up the ground to help. Numbers against Welsh and well taken by Newman. His second fine mark at the quarter.
And he is undersized to be playing on Welsh, and twice he's outmarked him in one-on-ones.
Hyde sold the dummy to Goodwin. Side steps Thompson. They're running the lines now, Richmond, taking a few risks. Chaffee pumps it long. Simmons has got to beat 2 this time. Cracker's in there working hard. So is Tuck, who will have a bounce 15 out from the Tigers' goal.
And quarters, there's no doubt Terry Wallace would have said at half-time, this Adelaide Crows team, they had a really tough physical encounter last week down there at Skilled Stadium against Geelong, which went right to the wire.
Hudson, great steal for Richmond by Tuck. Sprayed it. But things are happening for Richmond at the moment. The Tigers of old are fighting back. They still trail by 26 points, but the game is on. It looked as though it might be a no contest the way the first half was played. Former Tiger Tawney receiving it short from Bassett, but suddenly a little bit of indecision about the Crows as they come out of defence. Now Bassett running for him is Rutten. The kick has to be right, and it is pretty much. Richo's coming at him. Richo outran Cracker there. Not a bad option from Rutten, and Kellaway couldn't find the handle.
Yeah, and Tim, you mentioned Cracker there. I reckon he needed to put in a better effort. It was 2 against 1. They could have corralled Rutten there, and, well, I think a better effort could have happened.
Stafford got the spoils. Coughlin. Oh, Tigers. Hyde's run down. Umpire calls play on. Attacking it is Johnson. Richmond had the numbers.
Good support.
Coughlin to Jackson. Oh, he slipped over. Look out. Oh, he's gone now, surely.
Well, he tried to take on 3 of them. You can't fault the endeavour of the young fella. The slip is what killed him. 2 slips.
Again.
And Richmond, they've had the run of play in this third quarter. Got the last goal before half-time. And this is a really important kick because Adelaide Crows haven't kicked a goal for some time.
Hayden Skipworth is the man with the football. 11 goals, 7 this season. Having a pretty good year, averaging 18 disposals and 5 marks.
Campbell coming on, that's good. They need to get the veteran on.
29 minutes since the Adelaide Crows had kicked a goal. This to steady the ship. It's coming back. Not enough.
Just 2 goals kicked in this quarter, both by Richmond. Another 1 or 2 later be handy. Newman's kicking in's been good, and it's good here. Rains, who's come back.
Big Stafford giving him a lead.
It's big Stan Stafford, is it, Rob?
Stan Stafford.
Rashuto. Doughty. Perry. Blazers. McGregor is at the drop, so's Welsh. But the Tigers have 3 men there. Newman confidently kept it alive for Rains. Bold stuff by the youngster. Morrison just got it off. Adelaide are playing the clamps. But the Tigers take it into neutral territory.
And Rob, no doubt their intensity has lifted Richmond in this quarter.
Oh, you've just got to admire the Tigers because they were just about down and out at half-time, but I'm sure Terry Wallace has stressed to them that this Adelaide Crows team could tire. They had a really strong game last week, a physical game, a taxing game against Geelong, and their 2nd week in a row on the road, so it might be tough for the Crows to work their way through this final half.
I'm going to bounce it there.
Nevertheless, they still have a handy buffer. Thompson kicks it to the hot spot. McGregor, clever tap, beautifully done to Skipworth, who wobbles it towards goal and nails it.
Free, yes me. I am a super fast iPrimus broadband modem, and right now I am free with any iPrimus broadband plan. iPrimus broadband plans start from as little as $19.95 per month. Plus right now, I am yours, free, on any iPrimus broadband plan. Call now because after June 30th you can't have me free. Look at me and say you don't want me. You can't. I'm free.
Beautiful bring down by Ken McGregor.
Yes, he did it well, the big fella. And just what they didn't need. Crows by 33 points. Their first goal of this third term.
Took a long time in coming. Time enough for a goal or two yet either way. Richmond need to make sure they score any that are scored.
Oh, well done.
Here's Johnson, Kellaway. Ragged kick, Tawney controlled it well. Hart at the second attempt. Tawney, Campbell's got him. Bock out in front of Big Biglands. Did well. Played it like a rover. Gaspar. Richmond defence more cohesive. Was slow. Oh, lucky to survive that. Jackson, Hyde. Tuck, lost it. Burton. Crows dangerous. Hot ball, Edwards. Burton. Free kick. High tackle.
Easy. Just a backhander in the face. It was accidental.
Going Richmond's way.
He got a few free kicks against him tonight, Brett Burton.
Pettiford has got it. He goes to the wing. It's an ambitious kick again, looking for Rains.
Gee, there's not much going, Burton. Get him off. He can't run. Have a look at him. He's going up and down on the spot.
He just came on, Rob.
Well, get him off.
Pettiford puts it inside 50. Richo wrestles. Back of the Packers, McLeod, who mops up. Over to Hart. A couple of seasoned campaigners combined. Oh, Burton just stood flat-footed.
Timmondale ran straight off the bench to make that spoil and very nearly set something big up for Richmond. He might have done yet, and he might be the beneficiary. On his wrong side, good centre for Richardson. Couldn't hang on. Fights on. Cracker there with him. So's Coughlin. Simmons. Now Rains. Can he do it? Can he do it? No, he can't. But he might give it to somebody who can. Coughlin. Poor kid. Disappointing result. Doughty to Rutten, and the Crows are away.
It was a bad finish by Coughlin.
He's gone. The Crows runner's there. I'll tell you what.
I reckon you've said that a few times, Rob. No, your time. Get him off.
Oh, you've got to get him off. Who have they got on the bench? Get Goodwin on. Get Shirley on. Get Henschel on. Get anyone on.
Yeah, mate.
So here's a chance for the Crows now. Skipworth's the loose man. He has two bounces. Make it three. To Edwards. And he goes short. Beautiful pass. And this really will take some wind out of the Tigers' sails. If Scott Welsh can convert here, he's directly in front, 45 out.
Tigers just needed to get that goal. Gee, they battled hard. Rains was terrific.
There are your options, Rob.
Yeah, well, anyone, I don't care. Get anyone on and get Burton off.
So Scott Welsh has kicked 3 goals, 1 tonight, directly in front. Stabs at the ball, but it's a beautiful kick. Right through the middle. Goal number 4.
You really want to know?
Yeah, I have to know.
I strangled her, threw the body down the well. Any other questions?
For the first time, go behind the scenes of the defense
Ladies and gentlemen, where's the body?
and the prosecution.
You should lower your eyes a little, try to look a little embarrassed. Yes.
From the creator of TV's Killer Cop series.
You know, Danny, I'd love to talk about the whole truth and not just the parts that make you look good.
The new Law & Order Trial by Jury, 9:30 Thursday on 10.
And the Tiger challenge seems to have been well doused by the Crows. Brett Burton, poor bloke, friendless out on the wing.
Sorry,
scathing attack from Robert Walls.
He was in 6 contests. Wallsy wants to drag him.
Doughty for Adelaide. with a ball up.
The big bear had jumped on his shoulder, Steve. It was time to go. Look, the Tigers just needed to get that last goal when Conklin had the shot. It fell short. It just killed them because they've been fantastic as far as effort goes, Richmond, in that third term.
And all credit must go to the Adelaide Crows. Sox, they are the ones in front by 39.
Well, yes, they got a late goal there, and certainly they've got all the momentum now going into this last quarter, and we just see Risciuto on screen there, started up in that forward line, but was put back onto the ball.
And in the end, they won the quarter after Richmond seemed to be making the running for 20 minutes. It was Adelaide kicking a couple of goals. They kicked 2-3 to 2-1 for the term.
So we go to the final break. It looks like an Adelaide win here at Telstra Dome. They lead the Tigers at the final change by 39 points.
About a boy who's leaving, nothing else to chance again.
8:40 Sunday. After 9 years and over 200 shows, Raymond has its final episode ever.
They want to take a piece of my Raymond away.
A 90-minute spectacular on 10. The television event that was this year's most watched show in the US.
I knew one day this would happen.
It's not just a finale, it's a farewell.
What is it? What, Raymond?
What's happening?
The Raymond Special 90-minute finale. 8:40 Sunday on 10.
Nice bow.
Whoops.
There, you're genius.
Are you guys okay?
Classic. For your winter project, Bunnings Warehouse has everything you need. 4-litre flat plastic paint, $14.50. GMC air compressor, $98. 12-rail clothes error, $6.98.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Unlike the others, you really can cap your mobile costs with Vodafone's MaxiCap. You'll never pay more than $49, and you'll get $230 of all the stuff you need. So for the cap that really caps, grab a red SIM and switch to Vodafone today.
Classic timber furniture are now on sale, and they've taken 10 to 50% off store-wide. Save on bedroom, dining and entertainment. 10 to 50% off everything at Classic Timber Furniture.
Bow Repair's weather update. With conditions changing, drivers can experience 15% off Dunlop Le Mans car tyres and 10% off Dunlop and Olympic four-wheel drive tyres. For great winter savings, check out our catalogue or visit Bow Repairs today.
Bow Repairs.
Subway Restaurants introduces new fresh toasted subs, like the fresh toasted chicken and bacon ranch sub, toasted top to bottom and all the way through on our freshly baked bread. A great new taste no one can resist.
That's our sub.
Dude, you gotta stop doing that. Subway Restaurant's new fresh toasted chicken and bacon ranch sub. Toasting brings out a great new taste. Great for dinner or any time.
I just want to look at it.
Subway, eat fresh.
This is stock, Freddie. Take it. Go on, take it. There's 40% off. Truscott Stock Take sale is now on, with price reductions of up to 40% on a big range of stock. Take home theatre, $250 off. Take TVs, $150 off. Plasmas, $300 off. Take LCDs, $100 off. Camcorders, $100 off. Cameras, $50 off. Take fridges, $150 off. Washers, $200 off. Take the lot with up to 40% off. Don't miss Truscott's Stock Take sale.
Network 10 Adelaide would like to acknowledge the support of their 2005 local AFL sponsors, Truscott's and Toshiba, the Plasma, LCD and Surround Sound Specialists. Booze Brothers, proudly South Australian owned. And Stratco, what do you need today? And Stratco, what do you need today?
Nevertheless, they still have a handy buffer. Thompson kicks it to the hot spot. McGregor, clever tap, beautifully done to Skipworth, who wobbles it towards goal and nails it. Well, Well, Terry Wallace was watching that kick, and this was his reaction. Skipworth wobbled it through. Pretty matter of fact. Wayne Campbell, not the skipper anymore, but was one of the leaders of the Tigers, and addressing the troops just before Terry Wallace made his way down. Adelaide Crows, well, the Tigers threw everything at them, but the Crows were up to the challenge. They won that quarter in the end by 2 points and lead by 39 at the last change, 12-9 to 6-6. Walsh has got 4. Bowden 23 touches for the Tigers. Thompson leads the way for Adelaide with 21. As we have a look at the fresh legs for both teams, Rob and Steve.
Well, we have a look at the fresh legs there for Richmond. Andrew Rains and Tivendale, I'd certainly have both of them play the entire last quarter. Tivendale can run and kick long. We know that. Rains is a kid, so why not give him 30 minutes of experience? Wayne Campbell, the veteran, hasn't had a lot of time there. And
for the Crows, Skipworth, Doughty and Riley, all plenty of fresh legs to replace Burton on the wing, Rob, there. And Brett Biglands and Shirley, a couple of key position players.
Christy Malthouse.
Thanks, Stephen. Well, Neil Craig went straight out to his ruckman, Biglands and Hudson, to have some encouraging words, actually, to them at three-quarter time. Now, it was spoken about Adelaide, the fact that this is their second trip to Melbourne in a row, in 2 weeks in a row. Normally, by now, if they're looking tired, you'd see players cramping, you'd see a few of them getting worked on at three-quarter time. That's not the case yet. And, in fact, even interchange rotations is fairly even. Adelaide 21 to Richmond's 18. So they don't look like they're too concerned about that yet.
So start the final term.
And young Delidio lining up in the goal square for the Tigers.
Crows headed for their 8th victory of the season.
Knock it out! Fine!
One interesting stat about Richmond this year is that 16 players in the Tiger lineup have played every game for the year. Next best is Port Adelaide with 12. The competition average of the other 15 teams is 9. It's an extraordinary number.
Tawney kicks a high ball to the 50. McGregor wrestles with Morrison. Skipworth. Handball intercepted by Johnson. To Rains, to Campbell, and the Tigers are away. It's a poor kick though by Campbell. Turned it straight over.
What a great mark and hand pass by Burton to Henschel coming out of defence. My word, that was constructive stuff. And Henschel, or rather Bock, keeps coming and kicks long. I got so excited about Brett Burton that I called Brock Henschel. In the end, he kicks it behind.
Well, Burton had to handball it because he was too tired to kick.
Adelaide by 40 points.
It's been interesting. Andrew McLeod hasn't been released from the back line all game. And I think that's good because there's been no need for it.
Newman goes straight up the middle. Burton from behind the fist. Good spoil. There's the Tigers bench. Tivendale, Cracker, Graham and Noble. Give that one to Hudson. Running onto it is Goodwin. Head over the football. Got it out to McGregor. He's got to Edwards in support. His kick is out on the floor. 40 points to the Crows early in the last term. Oh, and the kick, unfortunately, the Tigers comes off in the end as Bowden goes to half back and finds Tuck.
Good kick, clever kick to Rains. Tuck and Rains. A couple of familiar sounding names. Familiar look about the number 4 for Richmond too. Stafford front on. Must be a free kick to Richmond.
You've got it, Greg. Just go back and take your kick, mate.
Robert Shirley, the offender, coming front on at Stafford. No doubt about that. I think we're all in agreement.
We are.
Tigers must kick the first of this final quarter. They have a ghost of a chance, and it is a ghost of a chance. 4 and 5 on the ladder. Now, play on is called, so Edwards was able to come at Stafford. Bowden was nearby. Gives to Gasper, but
gee, that's massive flat by the Crows, and that's why Richmond are just fiddling with the footy.
They're almost defending when they've got the ball. Bowden eventually kicks long. Big spoil from Rutten. McGregor, Adelaide back in numbers. Shirley, Risciuto.
Nothing
it's an open 50. There's nothing to go to. He does wonderfully well as he delivers to Welsh. He was his one possible target.
Yeah, it was a great kick, great poise. He just knew there was nothing ahead, just propped for a couple of steps, and the kick was spot on.
He almost forced him there, didn't he?
Yep.
By the kick, dictated where it should go.
Morrison really needed to be standing on his toes, but he just gave him some leeway.
Just a great camera shot there too. You can just see he had no one to go to. This is an interesting one. Andrew Cracker on the bench. He's only had 4 disposals, and he's a forward pocket specialist, and unless he can start to get kicks in the midfield, his options are limited.
Scott Welsh has only had 5 kicks before this. Now he's had 6, and he has kicked 5 goals, 1.
Carlton Draft, made with barley, hops, and attractive yeast, brewed in a big metal thing, put in kegs and driven around by horses, poured into frosty sideways glasses and drunk in pubs. Carlton Draft, made from beer.
5 to Welsh. Crows out by 46 points. Tuck, stripped of the football. Here come Adelaide again. Hudson scrubs one to the 50. Morrison against McGregor. Beautiful pick-up by Edwards. Couldn't quite find a target in Shirley. Rains. Now he's coughed it up. He's been penalised. Advantage paid. Edwards. Superb pass.
She's a good player, Tyson Edwards.
Underrated by many.
Well, he was the one who got that pass across to Welsh late in the 3rd quarter, and he's just set Perry up there with another. He is an absolute gun.
And the tackling by the Crows too, Rob. That's what got him the free kick.
Yeah.
There was the free. But I also like the player who marked this ball, Rob. I think he's an underrated player. He's just a workhorse, loves the body-on-body stuff, keeps presenting.
This for goal number 4 for Ian Perry. Well, it's game over now.
Free, yes me. I am a super fast iPrimus broadband modem, and right now I am free with any iPrimus broadband plan. iPrimus broadband plans start from as little as $19.95 per month. Plus right now, I am yours, free, on any iPrimus broadband plan. Call now because after June 30th you can't have me, free. Look at me and say you don't want me. You can't. I'm free.
Ian Perry and Scott Welsh have kicked 9 goals 3 for the night. Richmond have kicked 6 goals 6. The 2 Adelaide forwards lead by 15 points. Stafford's tap to Johnson. Simmons coming out hard, but Thompson wins it for the Crows. Simmons in for another dip. Coughlin now. Well tackled. Shirley, Matner. And a whistle. Adelaide's ball. The Crows are in control. They lead by 52 points. Richmond gave them a flutter in the 3rd quarter, but Adelaide steady. And this man, Brett Burton, well, what can you say?
Electric.
Edwards, oh, good hands.
Good overhead mark for a small man, isn't it? But gee, they square it into that centre corridor, Steve, time and time again.
Prosciutto now.
Go a big torpedo.
Such a great band of midfielders.
Gee,
too easy. Welsh again. And he'll line up for number 6.
The amazing thing about that, Rob, is that Richmond had plenty of numbers back, yet the Crows were able to find a hole directly in that corridor. Plenty of space there. Here it is.
It's the obvious spot, isn't it? And they just didn't have the numbers across there. Stafford's been taken off. And maybe the coach thinks Stafford should have been in that hole.
Straight in front is Welsh. Very kickable shot. He's got the kicking boots on and he drives it home for his 6th.
That was refreshing.
Yeah. I think it's a lime.
Bundaberg rum, dry and lime. Surprisingly refreshing taste.
So the Crows now thinking about percentage. It's out to 58 points. This is a big performance from Adelaide. There's Hart marks across half back for Richmond. Well, they've lost 4 in a row. This will be their 8th loss in a row to the Adelaide Crows. And it'll be Richmond's 12th loss in a row in June. Their last win in June was back in 2001.
Yes, and the Crows are a real bogey team. They haven't beaten the Crows since 1999. Steve, you'd have to think now that Richmond's chances of playing finals, I think, are gone. When Nathan Brown got injured, it just about finished finals chances for them.
Loose for 5 for Perry, but he's missed.
I think one thing they've got in favour at the moment, well, they go to a break situation where they can reassess where they're at. And I don't think this break's come quick enough for Richmond.
And certainly for Matthew Richardson, he hasn't trained all week. He's had that knee drained over the last month. I watched him train a couple of weeks ago and he was just hobbling on the track.
Bowden kicking long. Thompson and Goodwin and Adelaide with all the answers, and now they're really starting to attack. McLeod has a man loose. It's the Roo. Did he go for home? Well, he did. It didn't ever look as though it was going to carry all the way, but he likes it. So be it for the Adelaide fans, and the margin has blown out to 65 points. Adelaide will be ensconced in the top 4. Richmond will possibly slip to 8th on the table on the strength of this loss, and notably will have Port Adelaide breathing down the next just half a game behind, and also Brisbane with a big game against Geelong coming tomorrow, but starting to rise.
And that passage of play, Goodwin to McLeod to Rashudo, goal. Gladden the hearts of the old Crows, and poor old Richo just shaking his head in bewilderment.
Well, if the Cats get beaten tomorrow, the Crows are going to jump to 3rd spot on the ladder. How good are they, Rob?
I reckon they're pretty good. They are hard. They're a strong-bodied team. Remember, Quarters, we were over in Adelaide about 3 weeks ago. We were down on the ground when they did their warm-up, and both of us said, gee, look at the size of them. Even their smaller players are really strong and compact, and they hit in hard. They're good at the clearances. They haven't got a great forward line, but they've got enough options there to get enough goals on the board as they've done tonight. Backline's really strong and good in the ruck with Hudson and Bigland.
I'll tell you what else they have. An incredibly good draw. 6 of their last 9 games are at home, and there is scarcely a really tough game amidst them.
Rob, you said they are a strong-bodied team, but what they are is an experienced team now at the moment. I don't think they've got a first-year player out there.
Richmond work it forward. Graham, good kick to Simmons.
No, you're right, Steve. And what they did last year, they started to introduce new players into the team. Scott Thompson's been a great addition to this side, coming from the Demons, you know, former South Australian, but he's a hard body in the middle. But what we've seen tonight, they don't have to have McLeod, Goodwin and Rashudo in the thick of the action. They've kept McLeod deep all night, playing in defence, done a great job. There was a period of about 40 minutes when Rashudo only touched the ball once or twice because he sacrificed to take Kane Johnson out of the action. That certainly helped the Crows. And Goodwin's played as much up forward, he's half forward now, as he has in the midfield. And it's just great experience given to the younger players in the middle.
Simmons has kicked the points. Now, while we were talking there, Ben Hart I think he's taken himself off. He was wincing as he came off. I hope it's not the hamstring.
Crows waste no time. It's all-out attack now. Thompson to Henschel. That's a risky kick, and Mark Graham might make them pay. He will to Richardson. Nothing McLeod could do, and Richo has a rare moment of glory.
For your winter project, Bunnings Warehouse has everything you need. 320-gram liquid nails, $3.96. Storage box, $29. Dwarf Sacred Bamboo Starters, $2.50.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Don't wait, jump now. There are always great prices at Toyota with Australia's best-selling Toyota Echo. 3-door model from $14,490 with air and 3-year roadside assist.
Now, who's that man, Quarters?
Charlie Walsh.
Charlie Walsh, Olympic cycling coach, and he also is a great mate of the coach of the Crows, Neil Craig. Talks to the players when they come off the field, travels with them wherever they go.
Matner. Here's the handball over to McLeod. It's in the direction of McGregor, but getting there for the Tigers is Gasper. As Goodwin comes off, and Doherty comes on for Adelaide. Chappie. To Morrison, who's been pretty reasonable across half-back tonight, guys. Where have you seen Morrison's game, the late inclusion?
Yeah, he's had a tough job. He's played on McGregor for a good part of the game, but I reckon he's held up pretty well because it's been Perry and Welsh who've kicked most of the goals for the Crows.
Jackson, look out. Managed to shrug the Burton tackle. Now switches to Kellaway. He goes towards Richardson. He takes the mark. And full credit to Matthew Richardson. It is a big tick next to his name, just making it out on the ground tonight. Tremendous effort, a lot of courage.
Absolutely.
And he's lining up for goal number 4.
Absolutely. He's playing with difficulties. He could easily say, look, my knee's not right, I can't play. But he's got plenty of heart, has Richo, and he's taking his place on the field. How would they be without him?
And he comes for goal number 4.
Season finale. Get ready for an awesome cliffhanger.
There's another girl. She's next on his list. Her name is...
Medium at 8:30. Then at 9:30.
Federal agents, everyone stay where you are. Hands where we can see them.
One of these identical twins is a murderer.
How do you convict a killer when the only evidence is identical DNA? All new SVU and Medium, Wednesday.
You asked where the Tigers would be without Richo Robert Walls. They'd have 4 goals because he's kicked half their tally. 4 out of 8.
Knock it out! Well done!
And I tell you what, Tim, if he had been up the other end in another coloured jumper, even on one leg, I reckon he'd have 8 with the amount of ball coming his way.
Adelaide matches to come.
Yes. Now look at that. At home, Fremantle and the Bulldogs. They go to Launceston to play Hawthorn. And they come to Melbourne to meet the Kangaroos. Tiger takeaway here. Tivendale. Delidio. Tuck. Mown down by Biglands. What a good chase from a ruckman. Bassett. Doughty. They're a pretty good team, Adelaide. Here's McGregor. Morrison's got him. Did well. Kellaway. Noble. Forced into an errant hand pass. Skipworth bravely. McLeod managed to get it onto his boot as only he could in those circumstances.
And that's where the strong bodies come in, Tim. The Crows tackling tonight had put Richmond under enormous pressure.
Isn't the advantage rule a great rule in football? Because when Biglands put that tackle on there, the ball was immediately swept away by the Crows defenders. We get non-stop action. Great innovation and improvement in our game.
Risciuto pops it back inside 50. Welsh wrestles. He's taken the mark anyway, has he?
Yes, he has.
That is an excellent mark under a lot of duress, and he's got the free kick.
Well, he did it well, Steve. If you watch it, he protects the ball. He gets his opponent out of the way, so it was always going to drop to his side, his favour. Very difficult as a defender to get a fist in there.
His record is 8 goals in a game. If he gets this, he's got 7. Now, Sauce, when you played at full back, who kicked the most goals on you?
I think I know the answer to that one.
And you stayed this. Come on.
Welsh has got 7.
Rob,
come on, who was it?
It was Tony Lockett.
How many did he kick?
He kicked 10.
At Moorabbin?
10 on me at Moorabbin. And Rob left me there for the whole day.
You left him there?
I left him there for a good reason.
Why?
Because had anyone else played on Lockett, Lockett would have kicked 15.
It's a good...
Now, he's never forgiven me for keeping him there to have 10 goals kicked on him, but that was the reason.
If I can quickly get in here, I did play a game in the reserves one day where I was coming back from Angela Fever. I had 9 kicked on me to half-time, and I had the senior coach in Robert Laws come down to me and say, I'm just going to leave you there.
And what was the match tally at the end?
11.
Hey, who ended up full back of the century?
Exactly.
Burton to Perry, couldn't hang on.
Tough love.
Edwards, Skipworth, Rashudo, Biglands, and the Crows team. Now Matner is a long left foot kick. The fumble made it difficult, but it didn't prevent him from kicking another. He did that pretty well in the end. And the Crows are massacring the Tigers. They lead by 64 points. Sauce, I've just got one more question. Where did Wolsey play you in the 86 grand final?
You're bringing back bad memories.
Yeah, you are a stirrer, T-Lane.
What happened that day?
We just had
We'll just go to a commercial break now, then.
He left you out, didn't he?
I think he did.
It's quite an achievement by this network to bring you two together and have you sitting side by side for this broadcast, I would have thought.
We don't talk off either.
10 goals plus now for the Crows. Biglands caught a bit high.
Shoulder!
And that's where the umpire saw it too.
Well, we saw Matner kick that goal. I reckon Matner and also Burton are probably the two best wingers in the league.
Oh, Perry sets himself here. Got both hands on it. Gasper. Good tackle, Welsh.
As a pair, I think you're right, because they're both tall. They can take an overhead mark. They can cover an opponent. They play with aggression, and they can kick a long ball. And, you know, to have tall wingmen like that, great asset to any team. Gee, the free kicks have certainly swung around in this second half.
20 to 14's the latest. Crows are edging back.
Perry will be lining up for goal number 5. He's missed a couple of opportunities. He's got 4 goals, 3 so far in this game.
Brett Burton taken off. He's exhausted.
As Perry kicks his feet.
And in the Perry and Welsh versus Richmond contest, it's
See, that's
12
a soft free kick. That's as soft as they come.
12 goals 4 to the 2 Adelaide forwards. The Tigers are 8 goals 7. How about picking me next week, Coach? 70-point margin. Crows already healthy percentage is further enhanced. Doughty crashing in there hard. We had a look at Adelaide's next 4 games. Fremantle, Hawthorn, the Bulldogs and the Kangaroos. After that they play Sydney in Adelaide, Melbourne in Adelaide, Port Adelaide, Collingwood in Adelaide, and then a tough round 22 fixture against the Eagles at Subiaco. It's a healthy draw. Here's Morrison for Richmond. Deledio, the youngster, turn of speed, asserts himself, great stuff. That's a sign we'll see more of in the years to come. Richo's there, not this time.
And it was a good sign to see Brett Deledio do that. Look, not much has gone his way tonight, but to see the young fella back himself, run and carry through the middle, a couple of bounces, he is going to be a really good player. 200-gamer for the Tigers, I predict.
Thompson to half-back. Good kick finds Riley. He hasn't had a lot of game time tonight. This is McLeod.
There's a follow-up, McLeod.
Perry, who's got 5. He'll look for Welsh, who's got 7. Not this time. Back of the pack is Bassett. for Tawney. Now Bock. Yep. And Welsh has got it, and he's within range. Lining up for goal number 8.
In quarters, you'd think Adelaide would be a happy place tonight after Port Adelaide, and Adelaide 2 wins on the weekend.
Well, they'll enjoy the week off.
The extra week to celebrate.
So Scott Welsh, for his 8th for the match and his 4th for the quarter. Oh, it's a thumping kick. That's magnificent. It's home.
Want to see the big stars?
Oh my God, this is hot television.
Bing, bing. Tuesday, catch Herbie's hottie, Lindsay Lohan, the legendary Clive James, and Jebediah perform on Rove Live, 9:30 Tuesday.
The Red Rooster Double Meal Steal is now on. Choose any 2 of these delicious meals and pay just $8. Just $8? But hurry, they won't be there for long. The Double Meal Steal at Red Rooster now.
And I just wanted to get we've got a shot here of Ben Rutten at fullback on Richo. 24th senior game. You've got Bock out at centre half back, just his 24th senior game. And they're the 2 key position players in this Crows back line. And that Crows back line lets through on average just 71 points a game. By far the best defence in the AFL.
Perry receiving from Riley, taking a long time to make his decision, and then eventually picking out his touch. Picked out Joel Bowden, who was mown down off a touch ball. Fellow defenders help him out. Here's Deledio again. Again, puts the foot to the floor, gives to Newman. That's a lovely kick off the instep for Coghlan. Campbell, the veteran. Richardson on a long lead, taken wide, too wide, not happy, and a bit of vintage. Richo, as he tells the ball what he thinks of it.
I think he's been given a pretty hard time this last quarter by the Adelaide Crows cheer squad behind the goals too, quietly.
Tigers draw, no easy games really now, the way they're struggling along. Swans and Essendon at the MCG, also St Kilda, and then Port Adelaide, who are only half a game
Free
behind
kick, Greg Stafford! Greg, you're free to strew him out of the road. That's right, yeah. Thank you. Just on the mark here, Rick. Yeah, thanks, mate.
So Stafford's got the football. So Deledio's just sitting there in the pocket, and he'll run on here and should kick a goal, and he does. Just squeezes it home. First goal of the night to Brett Deledio, and the Tigers' 9th.
This is the free kick to Greg Stafford, but good to see Deledio in this last quarter give a bit of run. As I said, hasn't had a huge game, but just working late in this last quarter.
And there's a shot of Jason Tawney, who's part of that Crows backline, that very good Crows backline. He played 118 games for the Tigers and has gone back to his home city in Adelaide and become a very important player in that Crows defence.
Again, Adelaide's midfield machine working like clockwork. Dowhy gives to Shirley. Running for him is Rashuto. Decides against it. Might regret that, but he's good enough, and Riley's there to help him out. Rashuto gets it eventually. Gives to Biglins.
Square up into the corridor all the time, the Crows.
Oh, the ball looked perfect off the boot. The problem was it went straight to Joel Bowden. The night just about over. It's going to be a big win to Adelaide to ensconce them in the top 4. Kane Johnson under the pump. Tivendale, though, did well to take it away.
Tivendale to half forward. Graham to Richardson. Over he goes. And poor Richo is being given a hard time by the Adelaide Crows cheer squad. He's receiving a chant that's usually reserved for Richard Hadley at the MCG back many years ago, if you know what I mean. As the Crows bring it out of defence once again. McLeod into the middle. Riley. To Goodwin, to half forward, McGregor. Back to McLeod, who's run down. Weighs up the options. He's looking for Welsh. Uses the body well.
Great footy.
This for a career best 9 goals.
Great footy, Andrew McLeod. Hard running, but great use of the body too by Scott Welsh. Works his opponent underneath the ball. Very well done.
So Scott Welsh has kicked 8 goals, 1.
I don't know if anybody's kicked 9 goals this year. I know Fraser Gehry got a bag of 8.
In he comes for a career best.
Thanks, Kane.
Still, he'd be happy with 8.
He brings up his 50. 8 goals, 2. Adelaide by 70 points. Well, they've been one of the low-scoring teams in the competition, and yet on 2 of the last 3 Saturday nights, we've covered their matches, and they've kicked 24 goals against Essendon, and now 20 against the Tigers, and there might be 1 or 2 more left yet. Biglands has got it. He's been good when he's been given the opportunity. Gives to Tawney. Is Welsh a chance? Time's gone. The Crows score a big win, and their season continues to grow. But for the Tigers, the rot has set in.
Boosting win for the Adelaide Crows, home by 70 points against the Tigers, who I guess cannot wait for this week off, because they need it after a great start to the year. They've fallen apart the past few weeks. But let's take nothing away from the Crows, who go from strength to strength, and if the Cats lose tomorrow, they are up in 3rd position on the ladder as we go down to Christy Mulhouse.
Mark, you can head into the break, a weekend off now, feeling pretty good about things, I'd imagine.
Yeah, well, we won 8 and 5, not 7 and 6 after today, so it was a good result. It was an 8-point game against Richmond, and we're happy that we won.
You really buried them tonight, as you did with Essendon a couple of weeks ago. Is it confidence, or is it something you're conscious of doing when you get the chance?
It's something we haven't been good at in the last couple of years, and we really wanted to improve in that area. Percentage is going to be very important come finals time, so every goal you get's important.
Well done tonight.
Thanks very much, Christy.
Mark Rasciuto, who tonight had 22 touches and did his job, that's for sure.
It was in round 5 here last year that Adelaide beat Richmond by 75 points, and that was the infamous night, of course, when Richmond fans spat on their coach Danny Frawley. I'm sure that won't happen tonight, but it's a very disappointing night for Richmond, and Nathan Brown doing a bit of radio work by the look of it. Wouldn't have enjoyed the view from the comfort of the commentary box.
There's Matthew Richardson. He did his best with 4 goals, but didn't have many mates up forward, did he, tonight, Tim?
No, 4 out of 8, or 4 out of 9 in the end. It's a dismal tally for Richmond. That sort of score won't win many games, but Adelaide, 20 goals. As I mentioned, 24 a couple of weeks ago against Essendon. They're starting to find their way home.
And the stars for the Crows, Scott Welsh kicked 8 and Ian Perry kicked 5. We're going to take a break. The Crows home by 70.
You have been warned. You've been told not to watch. You've been told not to enjoy it. Oh, but you know you can't help it. I'm just a sex machine. Big Brother Uncut. 9:40 Monday on 10.
Sit down, fat lady. It ain't time to sing.
future is our today. The cars we build now are for whatever lies ahead. The discoveries, the challenges, your journey. For those of you heading boldly into tomorrow, we'll take you there. Hyundai, future driven.
Packed full of mouth-watering popcorn chicken, an original fillet burger, potato and gravy, chips and a drink. KFC's Batman box. There's a bit of Batman in all of us.
Until I took the scalp health test, I didn't realise I had a problem. Dandruff.
The Scalp Health Tester is used by our American Testing Centre, which has proved that Head & Shoulders can remove dandruff, even the tiniest of flakes. Beautiful hair starts with a healthy scalp.
Are you using the right shampoo?
Try Head & Shoulders.
Drop in for Johnny Walker and Cola or Johnny Walker and Dry, just $14 a six-pack or $49 a carton, or pick up any two of these for just $50. Valentine Scotch, Canadian Club Whiskey, Finlandia Vodka, Beefeater Gin and Southern Comfort Liqueur. And grab His and Hers 12-packs, Crown Lager and Pure Blonde, the new low-carb beer, only $39.99 for both. See the web for more great offers.
I'm a friend first.
For the first time in Australia.
And a boss second.
7:30 Wednesday teaches you a sneak peek at the show revolutionising comedy. The Office premiere 7:30 Wednesday.
The 2005 Toyota AFL Premiership season is proudly brought to you by our broadcast partners. Toyota. Footy. Oh, what a feeling. Carlton Draft. Chic Quattro. No razor shaves closer or smoother than Chic Quattro. Harvey Norman. And Primus Telecom. Change. It's simple.
A big 70-point victory to the Adelaide Crows, and well, the coach Neil Craig would love this because the Crows won every quarter, and the final margin 20-12, 132, as I said, 70 points to the Tigers 9-8-62. And the forwards fired for Adelaide tonight, no doubt about that. Scott Welsh, equal career best, 8 goals. Ian Perry kicked 5 goals, while Richo kicked 4 for the Tigers.
Now we have the winning coach at Neil Craig with us, and Neil, heading into the break, you could be third by the end of this weekend. How happy are you with where you're at?
No, we're pretty happy, Christy, to go into the break. It was 8 and 5, so you know that's good for us, and it really sets us up to have a crack at getting into the finals for the last 9 games.
Neil, you're finishing teams off. You must be ecstatic with that. Mark Prosciutto just said that as well, so that's a really good sign.
Well, it is. I mean, considering the pre-season, we sort of went out on a bit of a limb, I guess, with the type of pre-season that we did, and all indications are at the moment that it's been beneficial for us. The real test for that won't come to probably about 2/3 of the way, so we'll just have to wait and see. But certainly at the moment, our ability to keep playing the game has been very good for us.
Neil, congratulations on the win. Not only was it a good win, your percentage has gone up 6% from 122 to 128, but your back line, they only let through on average 71 points a game. You must be really proud of them.
Yeah, Robert, defensively as a team, we've been very good all over the ground. Our back six, of course, have been mentioned on a regular basis. Tonight was exceptional. I mean, to hold Richmond to, I think they had quite a low number of inside 50s and to a low score. They were a very high-scoring side, so it was very pleasing for us.
And Neil, what about the second quarter? You put your captain deep in the forward line, Mark Rasciuto. Kane Johnson was his opponent, and Johnson had a very good first quarter. I thought it was a really good move of yours because it just meant that Kane Johnson was taken out of the action.
Yeah, well, we've got a huge amount of respect, Robert, for Kane. We know him obviously very well, and he's an exceptional player. I think the key thing there is the way in which Mark was willing to do that. I mean, it was a real sacrifice for his game, and so, I mean, that needs to be recognised as well.
8 goals from Scott Welsh. At his best, he's absolutely brilliant. He's a match winner, Neil. Sometimes he can be very frustrating. I'm sure you'd agree.
Oh, yeah. But once again, I mean, what we saw today was we came in with a bit more composure. We tended to look for the shorter lead a lot more. So, I mean, that also helps Scott Welsh, you know, whose strength is his leading. So, you know, just as we've spoken about the defence, our ability to tackle over the ground and bring it in is obviously much easier for the forwards.
And Neil, your two wingers, Matner and Burton, both of them, they can play tall, they've got pace, they can close an opponent down, and they can both kick it well into the forward line.
Yeah, being good, Robert. And the other thing is they can play for the full game if we need them to. Both exceptional athletes, and it's a real bonus knowing that your wingman can actually stay on the ground the whole game if you need them to do that. But they've been very good all year.
Neil, well played.
Yeah, well, it's good for us, so we enjoy a bit of a break like most other clubs as well.
Good on you, Neil Craig, down there.
Thanks,
and as we said, if the results go their way tomorrow, the Crows will be in third spot at the break as we have a look at some of the highlights from this match tonight. Robert, 70-point victory to the Adelaide Crows. And we'll start with Scott Welsh. 8 goals, just a lazy night?
Yes, he had a terrific night, didn't he? He had his kicking boot on. He kicked some long goals too. And he was dangerous on the lead. Ball stuck, one grab. And from quarter time on, they got it right, the Crows, putting the ball into their forward line. And it was Welsh and it was Perry. McGregor was up there, Henshaw. They had 4 tall players. And as we said during the call, about 3 times a year he'll kick a big bag of goals.
Well, Ian Perry kicked 5.
He did, and look, he's the workhorse in that forward line along with Ken McGregor. Both of them get up across half forward, take the hits and knocks, and I would think that Wayne Carey probably taught both of those boys, Perry and McGregor, a good bit in his 2 years that he had with the Crows. Now that they've got a bit more experience, they're getting these tougher jobs and they're doing it well.
Could you win a flag with the setup of Welsh, Perry, McGregor?
Oh, look, absolutely, because they don't rely on just the one player. I suppose the one thing they'd be looking at is a medium or smaller sized player to kick goals.
John Cock obviously adding.
Yeah, John Cock's the one who could come in and be that sort of player, but they also get goals from their midfielders. You see Goodwin amongst the goals on a regular basis. Tyson Edwards kicks plenty of goals. So they've got a wide spread, and I think that's a good sign.
Here is Ken McGregor. He didn't have a big night tonight, but he certainly plays an important role.
He does, and I watched him closely. He is just full of courage. He keeps his eyes on the football. He will back into dangerous spots. Often it's 2 or 3 players against him. We saw one period there where he tapped that ball down. I think it was to Shirley that set up a goal for them. But look, you can see there. Here it is, comes now. Clever football. And he's a workhorse for the Adelaide Crows, and they've just got a nice mixture. And again, what a great sign there to see a forward doing the tackling.
Yeah, a lot of those 1%ers. Let's go down and hear from Ken McGregor. He's with Christy Malthouse.
Well, Ken, it's a big win, and you're heading into the break all happy and confident. I mean, how are you feeling as a playing group?
Yeah, we're pretty knackered. It's been a pretty tough 12 weeks, so we were looking forward to the break, and to go in with a win just makes it really happy. You get a good 2 weeks on your belt to get over your injuries, and we're looking forward to the second half of the year.
Your coach spoke about now you can aim for making finals, but do you think, can it be a genuine aim to make the top 4 now?
Yeah, like we said at the start of the year, we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. Our goal at the start of the year is to match final 8, and that's still what's in our heads, and if anything happens after that, we'll just take it as it comes.
How happy are you with your current form, your own current form?
Oh, yeah, I think everyone else got a couple of goals, and I couldn't get in there today, but it was great to see a few guys, like Welshie kick 8 and Perry kick 5, so it was great.
We've got to get into your meeting now, so we'll let you go. Thank you.
Thanks, Chrissy. Cheers.
Scott Thompson, hasn't he been a handy pickup?
He has been. Of course, he came from Adelaide, went to the Demons and played well for
Still
Melbourne.
only 22.
He's only young, but gee, he's strong and he's aggressive and getting plenty of time in the middle, in at the all-important centre bounces. And Neil Craig's got confidence in the young fella to play him there. And he just goes hard at it. And when he gets out in a bit of space, he's able to use his long kicking ability to advantage. So, you know, there's quite a few assets that he's got. He's hard in close and out in space as an outside player. Very, very good.
Let's have a look at the Chris Hyde bump. Is Brett Burton in trouble, Robert Walls?
Well, you tell me. You thought it was okay.
Well, he hit him high. It sort of slid off the shoulder onto the head. And, oh, well, I mean, I'm probably at odds with you three tonight. I mean, no one likes to see anyone get hurt. I know he had a terrible injury, but we shouldn't think about that tonight because he was just out there playing.
Well, if you get out there, you're fit. And, but I do think he hit him in the face, and I do think that Burton overlooked the football in his endeavours to make
I guess
contact.
that'll work. That certainly will work against him.
That goes against him, and we've seen examples of that this year with players like Byron Pickett, and I just think he's got some worrying days ahead of him.
I'm horribly outvoted tonight on that one.
You were, yeah, 3-1.
Let's have a look at Joel Bowden. What did you think of his game tonight?
Look, Joel tried really hard. He gets a lot of disposals. We shouldn't be too influenced by the fact that he's got 28 disposals. What he does with them is the more important thing. A couple of times in that first half, he let himself down. But I'm a Joel Bowden fan. I think he's an important player. I'd like to see him moved into the forward line a little bit more because I think your good players can kick goals and set goals up. He can do it on his ear playing across the half-back line, but sometimes it gets a little bit easy for him back there with the amount of ball coming down. Look, he won their best and fairest last year playing as a centre half-back, but Richmond finished way down near the bottom of the ladder. I think Joel Bowden needs another challenge in his game, and that is to be up in the forward line.
A tough night of your Richmond defender tonight.
Oh, it was, and look, Darren Gaspar, gee, the amount of ball coming down on top of him was always going to be hard. A couple of terrific marks that he took the ball out in front and a couple of wayward kicks. It always seems part of the package, but look, Darren's a 200-game player. He's been with the Tigers for a long time now, and they need him. They need him playing well. He's been an All-Australian.
Didn't get much of the footy tonight. Wasn't his fault, but 4 goals, a terrific effort from Matthew Richardson, I thought.
Yeah, I agree with your Quarters. He kicked half of their goals. He's doing it on one leg, limited training. He'll be glad that the break has come. And I do admire Richo because he's doing it under great difficulty.
Had his knee drained yesterday.
He has the knee drained each week. That was a really strong mark, wasn't it, up against 2 or 3 players. And as I said, had he been in the other side with the amount of ball coming down, he could have easily kicked as many goals as Scott Welch did.
Their percentage tonight, by the way, the Tigers dropped from 102 to 96, so it was a costly loss in more ways than one.
It'll be hard for the Tigers from now on because Nathan Brown's gone. Since Nathan Brown's been injured, they haven't won a game, and of course Richo's doing it on one leg, so they're just not getting enough goal kickers there.
Another break from the Telstra Dome. Adelaide home by 70 points tonight is Nathan Brown. Wonder what he's thinking.
Bit of hardware there. Hardware. Pop. Rivets. Plumbing. Like a fantastic utility shelf, this. Utility!
Vapor Drops vapor action clears the nose and soothes the throat.
Vicks Vapor Drops. Welcome back, nose. Welcome back, throat!
14 inches.
16 inches.
19 inches. No matter what your size, Bob Jane T-Marts has thousands of wheels to clear in our annual stock take. There's a massive 40% off RJR Torque, RJR Grid and AMG Vortex. Plus hot wheel and tyre packages start at an unbelievable $699. Bob's annual stock take is on now. See our catalogue or race into...
Vicks Formula 44 helps you say goodnight to dry coughs. All night.
Volkswagen Touareg. Aus Liebe zum Automobil.
Subway Restaurants introduces new fresh toasted subs, like the fresh toasted chicken and bacon ranch sub, toasted top to bottom and all the way through on our freshly baked bread. A great new taste no one can resist.
That's our sub.
Dude, you gotta stop doing that.
Subway Restaurant's new fresh toasted chicken and bacon ranch sub. Toasting brings out a great new taste. Great for dinner or any time.
I just want to look at it.
Subway, eat fresh.
9:30 Tuesday, are you the perfect bar?
Do you look like Marge or Homer?
Can Rove find Australia's very own real-life Simpsons? On Rove Live, 9:30 Tuesday.
Big victory tonight to the Adelaide Crows by 70 points. Could have been 71, I would have thought, Robert, but anyway, that was ruled not a point, still in play.
Well, a ricochet off the goal umpire and it bounced back into the field of action, and the umpires then say, well, it's play on, and that's the way that it has to be. The umpire was in the wrong spot at the wrong time, but gee, sometimes it's hard for them.
They won every quarter, the Adelaide Crows, 2012, 132 to 9-8-62, the final score. Welsh kicked 8, Perry kicked 5. The other multiple goal scorer for the Crows was Henshaw with 2, Richardson 4, and Simmons kicked 2 for the Tigers. As I guess we take a look at the ladder now, bearing in mind we're only halfway through this round, but right on top is the West Coast Eagles. Gee, it's hard to see them losing top spot now, Rob.
Well, it was a really good win by the West Coast Eagles. Most people picked Melbourne to win. Melbourne had the 5-day break. The good thing about it, it was a really good game of football. Both teams played attacking brand of football. I would think that Melbourne wouldn't be too disappointed by the loss. West Coast Eagles, look, they've lost just one game for the year, and more importantly, they're starting to get used to that MCG where they've won their last 2.
Yeah, psychologically it was a big win for them today.
It was, yes, and you've got to be impressed with the way that John Worsfold has handled this team over the last couple of years. They are just growing all the time. It is certainly in the next year or two, they're every chance to win a premiership. And Melbourne, I think that they're a better team than most people give them credit for, and Adelaide hot on their heels. And Geelong tomorrow with a big one up at the Gabba against Brisbane.
And Brisbane and Port Adelaide just lurking very dangerously at the moment. The other game being played tonight is between the Western Bulldogs and Carlton up in Darwin, and at the moment it is the Western Bulldogs comfortably in front. We'll have the final details, the final scores and all the highlights coming up in the 5th quarter. But tonight it was 70 points to the Adelaide Crows, a massive win over the Tigers, and the star was Scott Welsh, who kicked 8 of the best. Good night.
It's a wonderful night, you gotta take it from me. It's a wonderful night, come on and break it on down. It's a wonderful night, you gotta shake it for me. It's a wonderful night, come on and break it on down. It's a wonderful night, everybody can see. It's a wonderful night, come on and break it on down. It's a wonderful night, go ahead and release. It's a wonderful night, come on and break it on down. You know the music search engine need a tune-up. Soon as they out the gate, they all wanna hit a corner.
The 2005 Toyota AFL Premiership season, proudly brought to you by our broadcast partners. Toyota, footy, oh what a feeling. Bundaberg Rum, we live for the footy. Motorola. And Bunnings Warehouse, where lowest prices are just the beginning.